Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am the Crushinator and I will be your host this evening, and I am joined by Sexy Exy. How you doing, X?
Hey, pretty good. Hopefully everybody's doing well too. Thanks for having me.
We've got ourselves quite a match. It's the A East Coastal Finals here with our number 3 seed Phoenix Rising Xanthite versus number 4 seed Baby on Board. And it's been quite the journey to get here. We don't often get to see a 3 versus 4 seed here in the finals. Been quite the journey.
Yeah, I mean, the number 1 seed and my number 2 seed, Beef Boys and Sky 5, got knocked out by lower seeds. And so last 2 teams standing were Baby on Board and Phoenix Rising Xanthite. And I have this feeling that all those watchers from Division A East are pretty excited because there's definitely 2 teams that have really quirky drafts, if I may say so. So I can't wait to see what this best of 5 is going to look like, Crush.
It's going to be really, really cool. I don't think I've got to cast Phoenix Rising Xanthite myself, but I've played against them, and it was quite the bonanza there with the drafts. I've got the privilege of being able to cast Baby on Board a couple times and see what sort of stuff they can think up. So we'll see if, I don't know, like we'll see if they can trick each other, if they end up tricking themselves with these drafts. Yeah, because it comes down to this. This is the Coastal Finals for A East. The only thing above this is the Division A Grand Finals. The winner of this will be going off against the winner of the A West Finals, which are actually going to be happening here on this channel later tonight, right after this matchup at 10:30. IceX is going to be bringing you the A West Coastal Final, so it's a Division A feature here on the Nexus Gaming Series channel.
Yeah, pretty stoked. And I've been in terms of the Division A East versus Division A West. I mean, some things that I've heard pretty often is that Division A East is known for their team fighting, whereas Division A West is known for much better or preferring macro play in terms of the team comps. So it'll be interesting to see how Baby on Board and Phoenix Rising Xanthite really play out the team fighting prowess that Division A East does. And whoever goes along to Division A West, it's going to be an awesome grand final too. So Division A is just the place to look out for in terms of really good NGS games, Crush.
That's, it's always interesting to see that clash. You always used to see that back in the international matchup days, how, metas and internal matchups from different regions ended up clashing at the end of tournaments. So it's cool to hear that, the divisions of A have sort of branched off in this way. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be next week. Our lobby is full. Looks like we're about to get going here in just a minute, so let's take a look at the maps before we get going into this draft. Phoenix Rising Xanthite, as the higher seed, did have the choice of first pick or map pick. They chose first pick, and they banned away Battlefield of Eternity and Volskaya Foundry. Baby on Board choosing to ban away Garden of Terror and Braxis Holdout, and they're going to be bringing us to Cursed Hollow for our game number 1, and we're going to jump into that draft right now, because my timing is excellent, X.
Yeah, I mean, just right off the bat with this draft, I know that with Baby on Board, they have really interesting double bruiser, sometimes triple frontline comps, along with double or single support. And for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, the cool thing about Division A East is we're all like really good friends, and it's like a really good community. But with PRX, they play a wide variety of heroes and have a wide variety of teammates. So it's really hard to pin down what to ban, as opposed to the opposite side where you just auto-ban Tracer, as we see here, Crush.
Tracer will not be allowed. Mockery will have to branch out here. We'll see if it's the follow-up Hanzo ban, or if BRX has something else up their sleeves. Baby on Board just taking away that Stukov, just probably one of the biggest playmaking supports right now, so not too surprised to see that taken away. But it is going to be May taken out first by PRX. May is just kind of a force right now.
Yeah, it's just a very balanced hero. Has, different builds and talent trees that she can go into, but in terms of zone control, especially for something like Cursed Hollow, where all the attention is pretty much on an objective on a huge map, someone like May, especially with the ice wall, is just going to be pretty hard to counter against. I know that in terms of some counters, there's possible Tychus, there's possible varying with the Shield Breaker pick, but here we go. We have Hogger, Pretty high priority, I figured, for Baby on board, but looks like PRX is stealing that first pick away.
Good scouting there for sure. Taraska's been playing a lot of Hogger throughout these playoffs. And it's hard to go wrong with Hogger. Just the camp ability, the presence in team fights, and just being able to live for so long makes him very first pickable. That leads into an Uther Cassio over on the side of Baby on board. Kyberry's grabbing that Uther, and it's going to be Mockery locking in the Cassia.
I mean, in terms of Merc camps, wave clear, like, surprised that Sonya isn't banned out yet. But, you know, they can... Basically, PRX has a wide variety of things they can go for in terms of damage or healing. Something I'd like to see against... Oh, there we go. We have the Tychus and the Anubrak from Grand Paladin Idioms. It's going to be a lot of blow-up comp potential here, Crush. I'm looking forward to it.
That is a very good dive combination. Anubrak keeping someone still for a while to let Tychus work on him with that minigun. And yeah, Sonya making it this far. I mean, with the Nubarak picked over on the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, it's still not out of the question that they could go into the Sonya here. Though a hyper carry Tychus can be a little bit, you know, short range. But we'll see if Sonya is banned out here by PRX, because that would put a little bit of a choke onto the PvE bruisers, as it were.
And Global Heroes not banned out, not taken yet. So I wonder if with any of these teams, is the Brightwing, the Dahaka, are they going to be picked up? Or maybe like a pseudo-global, like a Zeratul, or maybe a Malthael with the mounted move speed of 20% on level 1. Will they get taken up? And looks like Chromie might have banned in this last round. So no, they're taking out a lot of high DPS heroes away from Baby on board. So I wonder here, Crush, if maybe Baby on board goes with a double supporter or double bruiser to get that hefty front line for Mockery just to do damage with the Cassia.
It'd be a little bit of a gamble into the Tychus for sure, but it would do some work into Hogger. There's that Brightwing you were talking about. Cavalier Guest going to go ahead and pick that up. Tarask actually locking in the ETC, so a little bit of interesting moves on the side of Baby on board. We'll have to see if they switch around any of those heroes after the draft's locked in.
Yeah, this might look like a solo lane ETC, which I've been seeing not as common, but it's definitely picking up a little bit of fun momentum, both in some competitive games and in Storm League. And I really like this pick with the Ana to prevent any of burst healing that Brightwing and has here.
That grenade, that biotic grenade, shuts down a lot of Brightwing's healing on the portal in. See a Zeratul last pick here from Coffee. Looks like Kyberry's moving over to the Brightwing. Cavalier Guest is going to pick up that Uther. And Tarask sticking with that ETC, so like you said, this is looking like a solo lane ETC. A little bit of a... I mean, the comp on the left, the blue comp, looks very, very put together, very standard, as it were. Comp in red, it's going to have to prove something to me. It's looking a little bit late game, and Cursed Hollow is a map that can sometimes end early.
Yeah, definitely more traditional in terms of a draft for PRX. I think in terms of win condition for Baby on board, it's like you said, going for the late game to get that Zeratul at level 16. Cassia, just a monster with Lightning Ball and Static Electricity at level 16 also. But yeah, we'll see how the Ana, played by Iron here, can fare against the double support. So I'm looking forward to this.
Alrighty, well, we don't have to wait any longer. Game number 1 is underway. On the left in the blue, we have Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Joshua Scott on the Hogger. Idioms is playing Tychus. Iron on the Ana. Hiva playing the Sylvanas. And Grand Paladin is on the Anubarak.
And then on the right side for Baby on board, we have Bright Berries by Kai Berries. Oxygen Cav G, Cavalier Guest on the Uther. Coffee playing the Zeratul. Tarask on the solo lane ETC this game. And Mockery carrying it with Cassia.
Let the battle begin.
Here we go. Game number 1 is underway here. Looks like Uther going with that Q quest on level 1. Zeratul with the Shadow Hunter. We'll be working on finding those globes. And it is going to be that guitar hero for ETC, which is pretty popular in the off lane to get a little bit of extra sustain when you're trading an awful lot with that Hogger.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty interesting. Cassia, Mockery going with the charge strikes here for level 1, not opting to quest on the talent. So maybe to help with the late game, because if Cassio win the sacking quest, then it'd just be two of the DPS heroes just waiting for that level 16 on Cursed Hollow, which I mean, it'd be pretty tough, especially since double support's not known for having really good wave clear on such a big map.
Take a quick look here at the top lane. Looks like Hogger will definitely have the superior wave clear in that matchup. So ETC mostly just going to be a big ball of health surviving and grabbing that XP. It's a little bit of an interesting play. It looked like Hiva used the Unstoppable on that Haunting Wave to get away from the Uther stun there. Very tight timing on that as they continue to brawl away in the middle. But you mentioned Cassia's level 1 with the charged strikes, so not going for that scaling. That does, it's a good talent if you're expecting to be auto-attacking constantly the whole time, which may be possible with this double support setup.
Yeah, I mean, if you want anybody to do an auto-attack Cassia, especially into a stun-heavy Anubarak plus the, Ana sleep, which Ana did go the cooldown reduction of sleep dart at 1. I mean, Maka can be the one who can weave here and there to just get the auto tag value. But I mean, here we go. We have Cassia on the siege camp, and one thing that I am concerned with Baby on board is, are they going to be able to pull out the merc camps out on time to compete? Because I mean, we all know the Hogger. He takes those merc camps like it's breakfast, Crush.
Absolutely. You see Iron was a little bit of a gank target there, but was safe inside that spell armor area. Grand Paladin chasing down, going to land a stun onto 2, but Baby on board pretty close to their walls, going to be just fine over here. Big push in the mid, though, by Phoenix Rising Xanthite as Idiom's moving up and Creighton Brightwing down to half health, and this lack of wave clear is starting to cause problems here for Baby on board.
Yeah, I could definitely see this type of comp for maybe a 2-lane map, but this is, I mean, they're having a lot of trouble trying to clear this spell armor merc camp here from the blue side. Oh, and there goes Uther down, even though Uther did just finish their quest. Good thing, though, with Baby on board, though, is that they have a pretty okay siege camp push on the bottom lane, Crush.
Coffee actually coming up and finishing that kill onto Anubarak. Nice rotation there. Zeratul actually getting some work done with this camp down here in the bottom lane. So trading out, I think Phoenix Rising Xanthite still ahead due to that push in the mid. But getting a little bit of value in the side lanes there was Baby on board, as we now see a heavy rotation onto this first objective from both of our squads.
Yeah, especially with the double support, Baby on board has to try to win this fight as quick as they can. It's going to be a little bit tougher, though. Zeratul having to not only soak in the mid lane, trying to get 7s, about a quarter of a way from 7s, but also has to pretty much respond pretty soon to the top siege camp. Here comes Hogger going hog wild, and Cavg looking pretty low, but Uther can get some trade value. If he dies, is able to get on out. And Crush, looks like Kyberry's in a little bit of trouble here.
Nice burst heal coming on through from Uther. Cavalier Guest with the save there. Zeratul still doing some double soaking. So right now, Baby on board, they have their 7s. Tarask is going to slide on through as you see Brightwing portal on in. Tarask is getting very much chunked and has to move on back to hit that well. And right now, Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they're doing a pretty good job of sustaining, but getting a little bit light on mana. They're going to have to start backing up, and we'll see if Baby on board can sneak one.
Yeah, and Mocker's doing a great job, like just topping the damage charts right now. Between him and Hiva on Sylvanas, it's about 4,000k difference in damage. Here comes Hogger. Oh, the stun gets the ETC, and Mocker's having a little bit of trouble getting walled off by Joshua Scott over in the backline. Coffee and Austin there to provide support, though. Kyberries gets the last-minute heal by Cavalier Guest and able to get out. Idiom starts to channel up above with a Tychus, and Coffee, oh, nice interrupt Crush from Iron there to get the Zeratul from interrupting the channel.
Very nicely done. Brightwing is also going to be interrupted from teleporting on in. So Phoenix Rising Xanthite about even on experience now. Hogger's moved up to the mid. They're going to try to siege in here. Grand Paladin getting big damage done, but moves on back. Iron is going to hit those healing darts. Man, quite the scuffle here, and some very well-timed heals coming out from both sides, as Phoenix Rising Xanthite are going to do a full back.
Yeah, I mean, Mocker's doing a really good amount of damage from the Cassia, but I thought that because it's double support, they'd at least be able to sacrifice a little bit of macro pressure in exchange for winning the objective. But, maybe Zeratul comes online a little bit later in so that they can threaten the objective a little bit more, but PRX playing it pretty by the book. I mean, not only do they have great comp with great damage and great follow-up, but their macro plays, especially the decision to go boss now, is pretty well timed with tribute coming up in 17 seconds. Coffee here scouting out the boss though, and Grand Paladin wondering if she should. Nope, it's not going to use any type of stunt to reveal Coffee. Idiom's right in the middle of everything. Here comes Coffee with the heal, and Crush, he's down to 300, and Idioms is down.
Nice pickup there by Zeratul. Coffee spooking PRX into stepping away from that boss. Very nice pickup there with the curse down here in the bottom lane again. Very interesting positioning there. Usually we don't see two in the bottom lane in a row. But, you know, bit of tough luck there for PRX with that positioning. Nice job by Baby on Board sniffing that out, because if they don't go down there, PRX, you know, we talk about the lack of siege, lack of damage onto a boss would be very, very significant down here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the stats right now in terms of XP. The main people getting XP are, you know, Zeratul, ETC, and Cassie on Baby on Board with 4,000. And on the opposite side, it's mainly Joshua Scott on the Hogger soaking lanes. And I mean, they got 10s before, and they have a nice experience lead, even though kills are pretty much even 2-2. So even though I did not believe in the ability to macro, Coffee doing a good job just making sure to either find team fights or rotate for the double soak. Coffee looking really low, but there's no grenade from Idioms here from the Tychus. Oh, and Joshua Scott just barely misses with the dive in, and have Cavalier gets stuck in this cocoon. Slept, the silence comes out, and here comes the lightning ball on the opposite team for PRX, and PRX able to get out with just barely a scuffle, even though Crush, we have Kyber is looking pretty low on the side of Baby on Board.
That's the advantage of that double support. You can take these extended engagements. We see ETC right back off to the side lane, going to use that stage dive to enter the fight when it is opportune. Coffee has just been a pain in the side of PRX all game long. Just living there in the back line. They don't really have the greatest of reveal opportunities over on the side of PRX, so Coffee just having a field day back there.
And I mean, Coffee's having a field day on the back line. ETC's having a party down in the bottom fort here. And it looks like ETC... ETC's going to come in.
He's thinking about it. Here it is.
Stage dive. Down on Idiom.
Ross is going to slide through. Coffee in the backline trying to get the last hit onto Iron. One more cleave. No, but Zeratul is going to go down. Polymorphed is Joshua Scott. Hogger manages to get away from the ball lightning. Iron so low on the backline, but will go down to the Holy Shock of Uther. Uther's going to go down as well and try to heal up the rest of the team. Mockery still very healthy, chasing away 3 ailing members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Right now, Joshua Scott's still healthy enough to have some of these interrupts. I'm not sure PRX is going to be able to interrupt this much longer. Well, Tychus coming on down. Oh, that may have gone a step too far. Idioms gets blown up before the grenade can go out. And Baby on Board pick up their second curse point.
I mean, they're really playing the goal pretty well. You got the Zeratul, you got the Bratwing, you got the ETC. I'm pretty much Baby on Board saying, all right, you know, if the team fight goes our way, if Coffee's able to harass the backline, then sure, I'll stay down here and get a fort. But if not, then I'll come in, just slide the enemy team, and I have to say Terras there with a lot of good engagement, especially with the stage dive, but also the power slide on his Q, and really good team fighters. Now we have objectives 1-2 in favor of Baby on Board, with boss calls being up for both sides, with the boss over for Baby on Board right now first. And it looks like the bottom boss will be taken without opposition by PRX. So good split pushing of bosses for both sides, Crush.
I think with perfect information, Baby on Board might have sprinted on over there, with PRX starting that boss up a little bit late, but with the boss pushing in the top lane as well as this objective spawning, this could be big trouble here for PRX. Grand Paladin getting cut off there, Mockery going in with the channel, and this is going to be a curse, along with the boss push in this top lane, while ETC deals with the boss in the bottom. This we'll see how much this does, because the forts are not firing right now.
And level 13s, they have it on Baby on Board, but about a quarter of a level away from PRX, so PRX opting to play the safe way here. A good thing about this tribute, though, is that PRX pretty much neutralized the bottom lane for a couple of seconds with that boss push. Here comes ETC on the back line, sees Hiva, sees Idioms, but instead opts to slide on to Sylvanas, and Sylvanas gets the nano boost, and oh, there comes the silence on ETC while Joshua Scott gets out with 100 HP. Crush, this is looking not too good for Mockery. Is he going to be... Nope, Mockery's going to be okay. as the rest of PRX comes on out during this curse with 20 seconds left to go.
Coffee was working on coming around that flank, but it's such a large barrier on that map. Very difficult to flank around that zone. But ultimately, Baby on board, surviving through that fort. They're going to use this push in the mid. As the poly comes out onto a Nubarak, Grand Paladin got to be careful here. There is the move on through. Uther is going to get the stun, but a triple knock up there from Grand Paladin. Nice aim. It's a triple fort play here off this first curse for Baby on board.
Only down by a level, though, so not too bad for PRX. I mean, they still have one curse ahead, so if they can get a little bit more in terms of macro pressure here, especially not only from the Hogger, but from either Sylve or Tychus. Like, I know they originally had the plan for Hogger to double soak, while Sylve knocks off the trait with Anubarak having beetles to get the attention of the towers, but I mean, we're just seeing that it's really tough for Hogger to double soak because he doesn't really have that mobility outside of range. And since Hogger went the level 1 town on the prowl, is able to get some rage into the next lane, but it's still not enough time to really have the full rage going into a team fight unless he plans it really well and has a little bit of rage to put up. Here's Crush. Here's an attempt on Terex, but now we have from the bottom a gank potential coming up.
I can't believe those two teams didn't see each other there as we now see Baby on board coming through the mid. Wailing Arrow comes on notice. Tarrasca's going to stage dive in. Grand Paladin and Joshua Scott are going to get slid. This could be bad. Zeratul is going to get the cocoon as Mockery is saved by the Divine Shield here. Both teams still looking fairly healthy. And once again, great saves coming from the supports on both sides. Baby on board. They've used a lot of heroics here, but so has Phoenix Rising Xanthite. We'll see who can control this top left siege.
I think the missing piece right now is... Oh, here comes a nice dive from Joshua Scott. Tychus with the Odin coming out, taking out the Uther. Uther, good hero to dive first, able to heal the rest of the team. And here comes Grand Paladin trying to come in and get a stun, some type of dive on Terex, but Terex has the power slide to get away, and that looks like a safe Baby on board. The siege camp pushing top lane for PRX, even though there's a big wave down bottom, Crush. Not only do we have a wave and a catapult, but a siege camp too.
That's going to start doing some work here. Hogger is on the way to deal with that. But the next tribute is up and available. Mockery has to be careful here as Grand Paladin threatening and engage. Iron is going to start this channel. Baby on board is in the off lanes. Going to give this 1 point over to Phoenix Rising Xanthite to try to clean up this top lane.
That was an awesome mini victory for PRX. They were down level 16s and still able to get the second out of their 3 curses for the next objective phase coming up here. And they will have 16s, which is a big spike for both sides. I mean, Tychus is going to go the overkill talent 16. Hogger is going to have that really strong staggering blow to get some extra damage that was percent based both on the front lines here. And I mean, as this objective comes up and the bruiser camps come out on both sides, I feel like it's going to come to a really big team fight for this next objective because Baby on board really can't ignore it. Even though, Crush, almost see an engage in the mid, but yeah, Hogger's able to take this camp. And here comes a tribute spawning in 20 seconds, Crush.
Baby on board have to contest this. They're going to try to clear out the mid to get their bruiser camp in position here. BRX is set up in the bush. We'll see if there's going to be a check here. Mockery is going to check. We're going to see the entirety of PRX there. We see ETC and Zeratul moving along this bottom flank. And this is going to be a tough one. Both teams have their level 16 spikes. Coffee is hiding underneath the boss right now. ETC is in the mid, has that stage dive up and available. And Idioms is going to try to start this channel. We'll see who blinks first here. Grand Paladin going to throw out the Q. Oh, this is tense here, X.
Oh my gosh, Coffee just doing a good job splitting at least 2 heroes from PRX here, and Idioms just playing the channel game. I mean, as Grand Paladin gets chipped down along with Idioms, it's only going to be in favor. Their Divine Shield comes on out. Mockery gets stunned. Here's a hog on Mockery, but Mockery's going to be able to be healed by Kai Berries. Now I'm looking really low. Coffee getting that final kill, but Idioms responding in kind. That's Ana and Hogger down, but Tychus gets a Zeratul kill. Here comes Grand Paladin with the stun, able to get out with 200 HP, and Cav gets the traded death, but oh no, we have a polymorph on Idioms, and Iva also looking pretty low here. Grand Paladin will be able to get out. Oh, Crush, that is a 4-person team wipe for PRX.
Baby on board with the 4 for 2. They're going to start up this bottom left boss. 10 seconds till Hogger and Ana are back. ETC might have to come down and help this out for speed's sake because they're not even to half health here. Though with no globals on the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they don't really have a way to jump onto this boss quickly enough. See a Nubarak in the mid trying to keep that lane steady. Iron headed up to the top to try to deal with these catapults, which are dealing some serious damage here. And Baby on board, after quite the team fight there, are going to get this boss steal and try to get up towards the top lane for our next objective.
I mean, PRX can definitely try to give this up so they can defend bot, because in the bot lane, there is the bot wall that's up, but looks like they're going to sacrifice maybe the bot wall and try to go for this contested objective because 20s are going to be coming up if they wait for the next objective. And here comes Grand Paladin coming on up. Coffee on the Zeratul. Oh, there's a stun on Grand Paladin.
Oh my goodness.
A 3-person silence. Crush Mocker's looking like in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the ETC in behind the stage dive and gets 2.
Great stage dive there. Mockery going to get healed back up. Cassie was looking very, very low there as Coffee looking to go in with the big cleaves once again. Iron going to start the channel here. Baby on board. They've got to get in for the interrupt, and they've got to do it fast. There's the holy shock from Uther. Grand Paladin is low, trying to get the burrow charge out. The ball lightning is still ticking away. ETC is actually going to be the first to fall here as Coffee escaping on the back line. Phoenix Rising Xanthite trying to turn this thing around. Hogger and Noob are so low, but the damage of Baby on board just cannot find the target. Iron keeping everyone so healthy.
Oh man, oh that's another kill. This is barely before Baby on board gets level 20s. Joshua Scott and you have Grand Paladin, Iron Hiva on PRX doing a fair bit of damage. And here comes Coffee coming in the back line. Oh, and unable to get a confirmed kill as Hiva starts to channel the third of 3 objectives for PRX. The bottom lane able to survive on 2,000 health, which is a sliver in terms of keep damage, but I mean, Crush, if they can get 1, possibly 2 keeps with, you know, both heroes down for BB on board for about 30 seconds, it's going to be a pretty even matchup going into level 20.
Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they've got the siege camp in the top lane here. They've got 20 seconds till Uther's back, 30 till Zeratul returns. They want to get this top keep down if they possibly can. We see Cassia in the mid trying to even out that lane, but Hogger is actually going to go and try to grab that as a consolation prize. Level 20 is here for Baby on board. It's about to be here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite, though. This is a tough spot. Baby on board wants to defend this, but they do not want to feed any kills. Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to go ahead and back off here.
Oh, it's going to be a long road if they can get a keep, because basically Baby on board can just breathe on the bottom keep. And oh, here we have an engage on the invade of the Merc camp here. But no, Baby on board just looking to defend the bot wall. Grand Paladin doing a great job walling off, and Coffee trying to do a little bit of damage before that Merc camp gets taken up. I mean, Crush, I feel like these next team fights, it really depends on if Coffee can position, because in that last team fight, Coffee was stuck in the front line, not able to harass and split the back line. So if Coffee can be the annoying little mosquito that he can be, except this mosquito does a lot of damage. If Coffee can get in the back line the next team fight, I feel like it can get into Baby on board, but if PRX can put Coffee in the front, then the fight goes into PRX's way.
Right now, Grand Paladin, I don't know if they actually scouted this out. Going to start moving forward. Cavalier Guest is going to come in. Phoenix Rising Xanthite's on the way. They're going to be a big fight over this boss. ETC is still split in the off lane. We're going to have to see a stage dive in the back here. The Silence Arrow comes out, is going to land onto 3. A huge hit for Sylvanas. Cassie is going to go down. That's all the damage of Baby on board. The stun is going to land onto ETC. Cavalier Guest is going to be the next to fall. Brightwing in that cocoon. Taras actually steals the boss.
Oh,
Baby on board pick up the boss here, but they may lose everybody. ETC somehow still alive with his Uther Ghost as the redemption comes on through. Sylvanas is down.
No.
Idioms is being chased out by Coffee. Somehow Baby on board are coming back in this fight.
Terax just chilling over on that boss point, able to capture it. And I mean, Cavalier Guess, I feel like just play that really well, just strategically inting in order to combat redemption and just get ETC from almost empty to full health. And instead of a boss invade, we have a threatened boss onto the top keeps from PRX here, where the Sylvanas, the main damage dealer for PRX, is not going to be up for 30 seconds to defend against this. Crush, this is a tough situation, but looks like they'll be able to defend
Cassia.
the keep in the top lane pretty well.
Without Cassia, the pressure here is so limited for Baby on board. We'll see if this keep survives. It looks like PRX are going to come through with the defense here. What a fight there. Baby on board looked like they were about to lose everything. They somehow turn it around. Cassia back on the battlefield. Sylvanas coming back in just a couple moments here. Baby on board looking to pick up their second of 3 points. Looks like PRX not going to risk it. Probably a pretty good idea. And now with the Invisible Friends online from Brightwing, everyone becomes Zeratul over on the side of Baby on board.
An army of Zeratuls. That does not sound something that's fun. Oh, but Haifa and Grand Paladin trying to play some sneaky hiding play in the bush, but Joshua Scott gets split from the rest of the team.
Uther's going to get revealed.
Oh, Crush is looking pretty iffy for Cavalier Guest and ETC. The
There's
rewind.
the rewind. Oh, ETC is down.
Oh no! Here goes the Coffee in the backline, just having a field day on Iron, and the cocoon doesn't come out in time.
It's a double kill, though. Zeratul is still in the cocoon here. Kyberry's and Mockery is still alive. PRX pops the Odin to try to turn this thing around. Kyberry's got to watch out in that choke. And somehow a double kill on the backline for Baby on board turns that fight around again as we have another tribute spawning down here. Oh, I mean, with the members remaining, no healer on the side of PRX, they might have to give this up. That's got to be painful that those particular heroes were traded out.
Oh man, this is a full curse in 2 seconds coming up for Baby on board. And PRX has 2 pretty low keeps. I mean, they can try to get lucky with the siege camp top, but 2 heroes are spawning on in 10 seconds from Baby on board. So here we go, tribute and curse for Baby on board as Grand Paladin and friends try to defend and hopefully keep at least a mid keep here while here goes your team Zeratul here in the mid lane. Crush Coffee looking for an engage here in the bottom lane.
You see Uther and ETC are back. Top lane for Baby on board is stymied by that camp, so that's not going to be pushing for quite a while here. Coffee gets out of the way of Grand Paladin. The bottom lane, if left unattended, the keep could go down to minions here as Grand Paladin, actually finds the stun onto Coffee. Zeratul, this could be trouble here. Zeratul is going to get hit by that cocoon as run out of tricks here. Baby on board trying to rotate through. Phoenix Rising Xanthite not going to overextend here, as ETC is actually pushing out the top lane. Now there's 2 lanes for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to worry about, as 2 very low keeps are now in big trouble.
I mean, the good thing is the defense against this tribute's pretty good. I mean, there's about 5 seconds, but here comes Zeratul in the bottom lane. Zeratul gonna get the bottom keep here, and top keep may look okay if someone can come up.
ETC still has stage dive, but oh goodness. Anubarak's flanking around. There's the stage dive, getting out early. They're going for the boss here. Phoenix Rising Xanthite baited into the gank attempt. Can they actually get down here in time? Baby on board is halfway done with the boss.
Oh man, this is going to be a heck of a core call here with this boss. I mean, it's a level 22, 24-minute boss. It's going to
On the way.
Really
They don't make it.
here. So here comes the rest of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Nice staggering blow from Joshua Scott here. And the Hogwild coming on in. Terax looking really low. Here comes the rewind. And Terax gets the Divine Shield. Oh, Crush. This is looking really nuts here.
The Hogwild is going crazy. Coffee gets cocooned on the back line, but Hogger is going to go down here. Zeratul still has a few seconds of invulnerability. There's the knockup, and Grand Paladin goes in, but Zeratul gets the blink away. Baby on board still at full strength here, while Hogger is down, and the boss is now on the core. Baby on board, they're going to try to end this right now.
So unfortunate. Zeratul is in the cocoon, and Ana tried to get a sleep dart, but it was just a fraction of a second too early. So now we have a 5v4 with the boss at half health on this core. It's at 80%, down to 75% here. Grand Paladin gets the damage here. This comes a big infinite lightning ball, and it's the stage dive on Grand Paladin too. And this is a GG for Baby on board.
What a game. Incredible stuff from both sides there. Man, Phoenix Rising Xanthite nearly had it multiple times there. They were behind in structures, they were behind in map control, but the team fights were just an inch away from going their way so many times. Baby on board. I don't know how they got so many saves. We're jumping into our second draft, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run a double support on Tomb, usually what double support lacks in is the wave clear option, which you cannot skimp on Tomb of the Spider Queens. That's where we tend to see those tankless compositions. You go with a double support and you go with something like a Maiev, something like a Leoric, something that'll just give you all the wave clear that you need basically in one hero, so you can sustain that sort of double support comp. It is going to be the same opening bans here. You think it's going to be the Mei again? I mean, Mei is good on Tomb, though I feel like Mei definitely shines a little more on Cursed.
I mean, if we're talking about like Mei versus Uther, I think Uther definitely has a bigger impact and just a lot easier to execute. But no, instead they're taking out any DPS choices from Mockery. So number 1 hero, number 2 hero that Mockery really likes to play.
Right, so Baby on board, they've now got the option to play around with this ban. You know, your Hogger, your Sonya, your Uther, they're all up. They're going to take away the Mei. So we'll see what they're planning for their 1-2 picks as Phoenix Rising Xanthite now gets their pick of the litter here. We'll see if you think maybe they can just snipe up that Uther right now?
I agree. I think that would be a great first pick. Just like to deny as like a 4th ban from PRX, but just to give them some choices in terms of whether to go single support or double support here. And there you go. You called it. Iron taking the Uther first pick.
Iron did play the Ana last game, so I mean, it could still be a double support, though I'm expecting likely a solo support Uther, which is doable on Tomb. It is an earlier game style of map, so getting out the gates early, picking up those kills like Uther can, is a pretty big deal on Tomb. It's going to be the Hogger. Tarask happy to slide back onto that hero, and Mockery going right back to the Cassia.
And it's Mockery had, if I remember correctly, about like 130, 120k damage compared to the Sylvanas player last game from PRX having 90,000. That charge strike's doing a fair bit of damage, but I mean, when you have a Sonya for the opposite team, it's gonna be some big damage on PRX's side too, and also Iva with the comfort pick Kael'thas on this map. So looks like
that's a lot of
both
stuns.
teams getting what they want.
Yeah, Cassia is not going to feel quite as comfortable there with the triple stun option already showing from Phoenix Rising Xanthite as they remove Tychus from the option pool. Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they've got the Mei band away. They're not showing their tank just yet. What do you ban out here? Do you take away that Brightwing that we saw last game?
I mean, I know Kyberry likes to play Brightwing, likes to play Lily, so she's comfortable with any ban. I'd be interested to see what CavG and Coffee take. Looks like the double bruiser or triple bruiser option that Baby on Board is known for is taken out without the Leoric. They're going to be very strong into Uther's burst damage here. But I'd say, you know, one thing that could give Uther some trouble is a Garrosh. So if CavG takes a Garrosh, it's able to throw Uther back, and Uther has no mobility. And there's the Garrosh, along with Coffee taking Chromie for just buku damage and displacement.
We are the draft callers. We got this on lock. Very nice job. Garrosh picked up there Chromie, the ever-safe mage, taken on the side of Baby on Board to bolster that wave clear a little bit, because Garrosh sure as heck ain't doing it. Phoenix Rising Xanthite with their last 2 picks here. Really pile on the wave clear with a Deathwing coming on through from Idioms, and Grand Paladin gonna lock in the Muradin. Muradin a really, really good tank for harassing a backline like Cassia and Chromie.
Yo, Crush, I'm liking this draft, man. I love this is a quadruple front line for PRX with a hyper carry-ish. It's not a hyper carry, I just say like a single backline here for PRX. Whereas on the opposite side, more of a traditional comp. So I mean, we have a switch here in terms of non-meta comp versus traditional comp for PRX and Baby on Board.
It's an interesting setup to be sure. Right now, Baby on Board definitely going to be trying to hold their ground and find the throw that they want to find. Lucio with the speed boost can be an absolute menace alongside a Garrosh, but you've got to walk past a Muradin and a Deathwing. Definitely don't want to be throwing Muradin into your backline, so it might be a little bit difficult for Baby on Board to find their displacement targets here. And yeah, this is going to be a cool matchup.
Yeah, I like PRX's draft, especially against a Garrosh who, I mean, you throw Muradin, what are you going to do? You can't throw Deathwing. I mean, we'll see how both teams play it. And man, another good game 2 coming up, Crush.
Game 2 is where we're at. On the left in the blue, Phoenix Rising Xanthite with Idioms on that Deathwing, Iron on the Uther, Joshua Scott playing the Sonya, Hiva is on the Kael'thas, and Grand Paladin playing the Muradin.
And for Baby on Board, we have Kyberries on Lucio, Cavalier Guest on Garrosh, Tarask on Hogger, Mockery playing the Cassie again, and Coffee playing Chromie.
Game number 2 here. Looks like Muradin going for that Perfect Storm Q stacking quest on 1. Uther with the Wave of Light, that W quest. Kael'thas, of course, going to be searching for those globes. We'll see what Cassia picks up for that level 1, whether it's going to be the Charge Strikes again or that more standard Q quest build. It is going to be the Charge Strikes again here, so Baby on Board thinking that these fights are going to go a little longer and want to get those auto attack bonuses out.
And it looks like with Idioms, going the more traditional solo lane build, so maybe looking like Joshua Scott on the Sonya just going to do damage here, but nope, against Sonya is going into the bottom lane, so we don't have a Deathwing going the mage build here. And what I like about both of these teams right now is they're picking like nice counterable comps for both sides. So for Hogger, for example, on Baby on Board, instead of going the Prowl talent, just getting a little bit more healing to sustain themselves more for the team fight, because this quadruple frontline is going to be tough as, oh no, we have Mockery in a little bit of trouble, but gets saved by Kyberries back into base.
Nice speed boost to get on out of there. That's a note for newer Lucio players out there. Just pumping up the heals the whole time isn't always technically the way to go. Just getting Mockery out of there on the Cassia faster to get away from that Deathwing damage was a pretty big deal there. So nice job by Kyberries. But it looks like with the Deathwing putting down that lava pool, putting down that Earth Shatter, really interrupting the rotations from Baby on Board here. They're having to stay a little bit more split.
I really like this. Idiom's coming in to change out the solo lane so that Sonya can take any camps away from Hogger before Hogger can do the hog spin damage on the siege. But we have Mockery coming to help Hogger as Hogger gets the Merc camp on the right side here. Both teams have pretty even levels at level 3. Level 4 is coming up pretty soon here, as we have gems 30 to 22 in favor of PRX.
Yeah, Coffee has just been stuck in that top lane. We've seen Grand Paladin on the Muradin just hanging out on that right-hand side. Deathwing doing the same. Sonya going to pick up that bottom camp. Hogger nearly done with the right side as we have a full invade here from PRX. Unstoppable is spot by Garrosh, but Cavalier Guest is going to get body blocked. Can Garrosh actually get out of here? Doesn't have the stun shield yet. Oh, 63 health, and Cavalier Guest escapes. Grand Paladin gets over the wall.
Oh,
So
no.
Cavalier Guest gets the throw there onto Sonya. Joshua Scott in all sorts of trouble. Unbelievable. A gutsy call there from PRX. Just barely, like an Abathur slap away from working out.
And those 60 HP on the Garrosh with the 49 armor. I mean, I feel like that fight would have gone a little bit differently because Cavalier Guest was trying to throw the Uther over into his own team's fort, but kind of misclicked there. And instead, Cavalier Guest just baiting the team to thinking that he was in trouble. But here we have another engaged Cavalier Guest trying to get a Muradin kill. The Muradin has the Dwarf Toss. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Idiom's trying to do some work while Sonya takes the Bruiser camp up in the left-hand side. This is looking pretty even, and basically what we're looking for is a forcing of a team fight for both sides to see who can execute the best team kill right now.
There were some gems lost on that Sonya with the kills, so only just now. Oh no, they got their 50 pretty quickly. Both teams now at 50. Idiom's trying to turn in the bottom lane with that 19. Baby on board, trying to find space to turn in the top lane. Right now, Phoenix Rising Xanthite has the well-timed camp pushing through the mid, which can really help out in creating space for some turn-ins here. We'll see how much damage they can do to this front wall now that they have their level 7s. Oh my goodness, Tarask with nowhere to go, just caught in the full fury of that Deathwing Molten Flame.
Iron with the nice Uther stun to get the Tarask kill. And here comes another stun. Oh, the Uther is just a good pick here for PRX as they get 2 kills and they start to threaten this mid fort. Both teams, no, actually, Baby on board loses 3 gems, so PRX has a turn-in if they want, but not without taking this.
Paladin's going to try to get it. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, and there you go. Fort goes down for Baby on board.
Phoenix Rising Xanthite pick up some kills and pick up that mid fort before their first Webweaver wave descends. That's a pretty big advantage here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, as our first Webweavers are now on the way. Baby on board with a heavy rotation into the bottom lane here. Joshua Scott is staying mounted. See if Sonya steps up. Baby on board really want this offlane kill.
It just looks like Joshua Scott looking deep into those bushes and seeing that things look fishy there. It's like 4 fishes there that I'm just not comfortable with coming onto the lane here. As the rest of Baby on board start to rotate top and defend against this Spider Weaver that's gonna do some hefty damage against this fort. Grand Paladin getting thrown, jumping out, and right now we see the middle and the bottom Webweaver getting cleared out pretty handily here, but the top fort at about a quarter HP here with the Webweaver able to do some lasting damage and getting the top fort crushed. That's 2 forts for PRX. It's looking pretty good for them so far.
Well, on their way to level 10 as well, so maybe on board a bit on the back foot here. They get the good defense down in the bottom lane, but they didn't quite get the pick they were hoping for to even up that experience. So it was a good job, good map awareness on through from Phoenix Rising Xanthite as they look to cut off the rotations once again. Rotations for Baby on board are going to be very difficult without those forts.
Got a nice little scuffle in the bottom lane here. Joshua Scott and Terrace trying to win over the siege camp, but PRX rotating down. Terrace in a little bit of trouble here. Has the Hogwald at about... There we go, the Hogwald out. Is able to get out with the siege camp getting up for PRX.
Nice angles for Tarash to get on out of there, but yes, PRX does pick up that bottom camp, and they pick up their level 10s. They're looking for a full invade here. This could be trouble for Baby on board, and they're just going to have to give up this camp. They've got no chance without their heroics.
Loving the way that PRX is playing so aggressive here, Crush. I mean, level 10s come out, maybe a 4th of a level left for Baby on board, but now they have this bruiser camp here trying to go for a mid lane push, and there's 2 forts down. There's only been 1 spider phase, Crush.
It's jumping right off the bat here. That's something you got to do with these solo support Uther compositions. You can't be getting into long fights. And so far, these fights that they've been taking have been very abrupt, and they've been getting a lot of value off each and every one of them. So PRX having a fantastic start here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They don't quite have enough for a back-to-back turn-in. They're about 14 gems off. We'll see if they can continue to hold this map pressure to get that second turn-in.
I mean, it's just this quadruple front line. I mean, we do know that on both sides they do have really good coordination. I mean, we're in the freaking finals here, and so having just a couple more beefy heroes for PRX just allows for a more margin of error in case there's some type of gank or some type of, executed blow up. But not going to be seeing it here, as we have Baby on board sitting with 99 gems, trying to get a turn in here in the bot lane, and looks like they're going to be able to sneak at least 25 gems. They need 25 more in order to get into the Weaver phase, though they are down 1 level, and there's a throw on Hive. The Hive pops the shield and able to get out just in time.
Mockery chasing out idioms there, taking out just 1 of those armor plates. One thing we're gonna need to look out for is whether we see Cassia go into those armor ignoring talents, which could be very, very impactful in the late game. We'll see if PRX even allows this to go into the late game here. As we see the stun come out onto Garrosh, Cavalier Guest is going to get away just fine, but Grand Paladin with those 5 gems, that's going to be enough for Phoenix Rising Xanthite to secure their next turn, and we'll see if Muradin's going to drop those off. There they go. So Baby on board going to have to deal with another big Webweaver push. Level 13 is almost here for PRX as well.
It's going to be a pretty big push. I mean, you got the top lane is going to be stopped in the middle, so maybe a half-life Webweaver in the top lane, but this middle Webweaver is going to be pretty devastating onto this keep, especially the level 13s coming in. And so with Baby on board, they just have to clear these lanes as fast as they can. Hopefully they can take out this Bruiser camp before the Weaver comes. And nope, here comes big old Spider, Grand Paladin, playing leapfrog back and forth between the forts. And Terras coming on in to join the team fight here. It's looking like a tough situation for Baby on board as the Weaver starts to hammer onto this mid keep.
Objective still very, very healthy here. Phoenix Rising Xanthite trying to go in. There's the Cataclysm from Deathwing. They want this keep badly. They find the stun onto Tarask on the edge. Hogger in all sorts of trouble. Hogger is going to go down here. There's the D-Shield coming out onto Grand Paladin as well. Mockery trying to push back the members of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They have cleared the wave. This keep could still be standing, and now Phoenix Rising Xanthite might be fighting underneath this keep. Joshua Scott getting targeted by that negative armor. Coffee needs one hit, but it's intercepted by Grand Paladin. Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they're not going to lose anyone. They are a little bit battered and bruised, and they've done a good amount of damage to this mid-keep.
Oh, Baby on board still in the game. Looks like they're able to save their top keep. Oh no, they're rotating on the top keep, and that's 2 or 3 heroes from Baby on board down defending bot below. So they will lose this top keep because of the siege damage from not only the Sonya, but the Sledgehammer Muradin too. That's pretty good Webweaver phase. 1 top keep taken down, half of a mid keep also in danger of being taken down, especially as both teams inch a little bit closer to level 16 with a boss call from PRX in the top lane. And I mean, it looks like the rotation is going to be a little bit too slow to defend against this, even though they're the same talent here.
Baby on board is coming on through. They're going to try this. Tarask is going to have to make a blind entry here if they're going to go for it. Mockery scouting the bush. There it is. The Hortipult's in. They're going for it. Baby on board is making a desperation play right now, but Hogger spins off the point. Phoenix Rising Xanthite pick up the boss, and now Baby on board in the wrong neighborhood here. Hogger is going to go down. Cavalier Guest staying alive for now, but ultimately is still alive. There goes Garrosh going down here. Kyberries has to get away from the boss stun, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite pick up the double kill. They might just end this game right now.
Oh my goodness, that was, I mean, really gutsy play from Terras going in, but it was just too much in terms of point control. You're going in 1v5. Unfortunately, the Hogger wasn't the 1v5 king in this matchup, as we have all heroes on Baby on board not going to be up for another 20 seconds. This is a 3v5 with an extra boss at about a quarter HP right now as Cassia goes down. So that's no kill pressure other than Coffee on the Chromie as the core takes out
goodness.
damage to 50%. Crush, this is looking pretty thin for Baby on board. And
Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they survive. Very nicely done. A textbook victory there on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Well done, GG.
That was nuts. What a good game. And a good draft, too, from PRX. I like this quadruple frontline. I mean, we're seeing a lot of triple frontline in CCL, and PRX just decided to kick it up a notch and just add some fuel to the frontline fire.
I mean, they drafted extremely well there. Usually, you know, if you take that and you show your hand on that too early, there's heroes that can be picked up. But with, you know, the early Cassia followed up by the Chromie, that's 2 heroes that, you know, they do well into those sort of assassin targets, healer targets, but it takes so long for them to work down those, you know, the armor coming out from the Uther, the Muradin health, the Deathwing health, Sonya self-sustain. Baby on board just didn't have enough time to get through on those fights. Phoenix Rising Xanthite just pouncing on every opportunity and take, what was that, a 12-minute victory there on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
It's definitely one of the fastest, and I think Baby on board was trying to wait for level 16 where Cassie and Hogger have their percent based damage. But I mean, it was like what you're saying, Crush. The Mirrodin and the Deathwing pick were saved for last, and it was because the first pick Uther just has too many options open when you pick it for your team. Double support, triple support. Is Uther going to be a frontline? Is he going to be a tank? Is he going to be a bruiser? I mean, it just adds a little bit of uncertainty into the draft that PRX really took care of. And so I like this play. I like the draft. And in terms of execution, I mean, we got like beefy heroes that you don't really need to heal that much. The burden of execution was much easier for PRX that game.
Absolutely. It was, yeah. I mean, just a great draft coming on out there, executed to perfection. I can't, not a whole lot else left to say. Just, GG go next. We're going to get set up here for game number 3. Just waiting on our next lobby to come on through. So Baby on board with the choice. They will have the opportunity for first pick if they so desire. I mean, with the maps remaining, Cursed Hollow went well for them. Let me see what was banned. Garden of Terror was banned away, so we don't get to go there. Alterac Pass is a possibility, though. That's another, it's a pretty large map that maybe you might see Baby on board elect to go to rather than choosing that first pick. What do you think? What do you think Baby on board's thinking after that match?
I mean, as you're saying, that looks like we got Dragon Char for the third game, and to be honest, I mean, Baby on board. I feel like just go with what works the first game. Get the double support. Like they were able to make the double support work with some clever global drafts in the first game. And maybe you got these two teams that like to do these weird drafts. Maybe just stick with the weird drafts, because the first game, Baby on board had the weird draft with a double support, triple global, and here in the second game we have quadruple frontline for PRX. So, game 3, maybe we just see some weird drafts here. Maybe we see the mythical, legendary triple stealth from PRX. Maybe we see the triple bruiser from Baby on board, and I think that's what the chat wants too, man. We want to see some weird drafts that still aren't memeing, but have a strong win condition for either team.
Yeah, I mean, Dragonshire is the kind of map where you can get away with some interesting comps. There's a lot of skirmishing, a lot of 2v2s, 3v3s. That's where some of these stealth heroes can really shine in tilting those engagements. Yeah, I mean, Dragonshire is also a map where you've got to worry about stuff like Vikings possibly coming on through. There's some wacky fun that can happen on Dragonshire, to be sure. Like
on this map, I always like the on Dragonshire and Brax's holdout too, the way the solo laners play. I mean, who has first pick here? So I'm assuming
it is Baby on board with the first pick. So
first pick.
Yeah,
so
they chose first pick, and PRX then chose Dragonshire.
Okay, so I mean, that's a solo laner. Probably the most annoying thing is having your team be the first pick, because that means the other team has the last pick and can counter the solo lane. And solo lane is pretty far off in Dragonshire, and even if you push in with a solo lane on Dragonshire, like, what are you going to go over the bridge of death? Like, probably not, right? So
yeah, it's a weird one to be sure. I mean, so you've got your Hoggers and your Sonya, stuff that'll probably do fine into whatever gets thrown your direction. Yeah, I think globals are going to be something that's a pretty big deal here on Dragonshire. If it's not Dahaka, just a Brightwing to come and break up that engagement. We haven't seen Falstad at all in this series, but Falstad can do some serious work on Dragonshire. Yeah, I mean, I gotta wonder, like, do these teams just not have a comfortable Falstad player, or are they just, they're not really into having the global style on that ranged assassin? It's been interesting to not see him at all.
Yeah, because it seems like Haiva is more comfortable on like magey heroes, and I'm not too sure because I haven't seen a Falstad to my recollection from PRX here, but I mean, Hogger pretty high priority, Uther pretty high priority for both teams, and would like to see this mixed up a little bit by seeing an Uther ban. Love wacky comps,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see a wacky comp without Uther be executed.
I mean, Uther's 2-0 so far in this series. Both teams are probably well aware of that coming into this game number 3. I think you're right. I mean, right now with Baby on board first pick, we'll have to see if PRX respects that Uther first pick opportunity. As, Dragonshire, not quite the same, early game pressure that can come on through like a Tomb of the Spider Queen, but Uther's not specifically an early game hero anymore. He's just kind of great all the time, which is what makes him such a threat in that first pick position. And, if I'm PRX, I think I gotta ban that out. I've got to, maybe let a Hanzo through if Baby on board dares to first pick a Hanzo with so many other options available. Yeah, I got to agree. I'd be shocked if PRX just gave away the Uther here.
And I mean, it doesn't seem like Sonya's a priority for either team in terms of picking or banning. And looking on PRX's side, in terms of solo laners, they have the Hogger, the Sonya, and then there's a Diva in there. But that's pretty much it. So, I mean, I feel like most of this is going to be determined by who can play the better solo lane to have advantage over that top objective, the top shrine here. And I think what I could see here, since Mockery can play these slippery heroes like a Tracer or a Zeratul, maybe they go with a roaming composition here with 3 people bot and 1 person in the solo lane, and kind of just mess up rotations in that way. Because in Dragonshire, when you have that Bermuda Triangle down between the mid and the bot lane, if you can control that rotation pretty well, then you've got yourself to a dragon early game like pretty easily. That is until the forts get taken down.
It'll be, yeah, I mean, one pick that can come on through from Dragonshire. Speaking of controlling that area, we've not seen a Diablo, we've not seen a Varian come through from either team here. Both those can do a very good job in controlling the rotations between mid and bot. Sorry, I'm just taking a look at chat. Looks like we might have a connectivity issue. Hopefully that gets resolved soon. So we'll let you know when the draft is up and running here, folks. So bear with us. Yeah, I mean, right now, like you said, these teams are very flexible in their drafting. We've seen a single heal Uther style. We've seen double support styles. We've seen, we haven't seen a tankless style just yet. But it is, anything's possible here with these teams. Depends on whether they're trying to focus, on the early game or trying to go late. Yeah.
I'm looking at chat too, and we have some PRX fans in chat, and I see 2 players on a new NGS division. I'm assuming Division A or Division Nexus team. Alan by default, Sneaky Glades, looking for the legendary PRX triple stealth. I wonder if triple stealth can be pulled off on this map, because for those who missed the PRX triple stealth game, they pulled it off. They played that game against Sky 5, the #1 seed, and it was on Garden of Terror. Pretty big map, a lot of merc camps, and it was triple stealth plus Deathwing plus an Abathur. And in the end, they won because the Abathur did a really great job pushing lanes and just getting some core damage. And the core call was Zeratul and Nova just slamming on the enemy core. So, I don't know, Crush. I don't know if triple stealth, can it be done in Dragonshire?
I have trouble feeling like it can be done because physical presence on the shrines is very important. It's hard to poke around the edges. At some point, you've just got to stand there, which is not what stealth heroes want to be doing. So maybe you get away with double, triple stealth. I think you might be taking a little bit too much away here, but we'll have to see what they come through with. Anything's possible. I've seen Cho'Gall Nova comps. I've seen Zeratul, Illidan comps. There's all sorts of fun stuff that teams can dream up and come on through. And sometimes if you just keep someone else off guard and they're not sure how to respond, you can just come out ahead.
Yeah, yo, Zeratul Illidan sounds nasty as heck, man. I'm glad I wasn't the team play against that. I'm assuming the Zeratul and Illidan gave the other team a run for their money.
It's, when you draft it into the right spot, it's just impossible to deal with. Just two people blinking all over the place. You can't target them with any skill shots. It can be a total mess. But, yeah, against the wrong comp, it does absolutely nothing. Like 0. So it's, if you can pull it off, it's great. But if you miss, you miss by a lot.
You better hope you're not playing mage into some crap like that. So, oh, dude, we got our Uther bed. Here we go.
All right, ERX going to ban away that Uther. We'll see if it is going to be indeed a first pick Hanzo. They don't necessarily have to do it, unless Phoenix Rising Xanthite chooses to take it for themselves. It is going to be a Brightwing. So going with that global presence here is Kaiberries for Baby on board.
And I mean, if they do, Kaiberries plays a pretty good Brightwing. It's going to be really easy to get the cooldown reduction on level 1 in the mid and the bot lane. I wonder if on PRX, if they're going to go more frontline, because any type of blow up comp that, the Baby on board team decides to draft, it's just completely taken out. But
so they steal it. Interesting.
Take Mockery's Hanzo. Cassie's still up, and two really good picks. I like the May and the Hogger pick. Both sides right now, pretty solid, pretty meta-ish picks for Dragon Char Game 3.
Baby on board, just taking 3 extremely solid heroes here. Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they've got the Hanzo as an anchor. Sonya, just a great matchup with Hogger. They both just kind of live for a while and can body on the point. They've got similar kind of wave clear. I think Hogger comes out a little bit ahead there. Similar kind of camp clear. And, with the Brightwing on the side of Baby on board, that might tilt that matchup a little bit. Though Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they've got 3 more picks to see what they can do there. As we see the Zeratul and the Tychus going to be banned away by our teams.
Tychus was picked in the first round, but the Baby on board team first game were able to pretty much keep the Tychus damage really low, mainly worried about the Sylvanas damage on game 1. So I think taking out the Tychus, not too bad here. We have Grand Paladin on Nubrek and Lucio being played by Iron here. This time Lucio on the opposite side, not being played by Baby on board.
So the Lucio pickup going to remove some of the CC options of May, who has ever so many ways to slow Rugia. Anubarak picked up once again by Grand Paladin with Hanzo's decent follow-up, maybe not the best follow-up, as, oh my goodness, we got ourselves an Alarak coming in from Coffee and Mockery. And it's just alright, I guess I'll go play Cassia again. And there's the Deathwing. Once again here, Idiom's going straight back to the well.
It's going to be a big wall for Hiva here. If I'm Hiva, I'm just jumping for joy right now, because I don't have to position as carefully since I got a Deathwing and a Nubarak saving for me. I don't see a Deathwing against the Hogger in this matchup.
It's going to be a little bit tougher. The damage profile onto the Deathwing is pretty similar. Cassia does okay, Alarak not so much into the Deathwing, but with the May on the other side, the ice wall on top of the Deathwing can be a problem because it's pretty hard to miss Deathwing and being so big. But yeah, Alarak probably not going to find an awful lot of combos into that front line.
Yeah, and the thing with the Alarak pick is if Alarak goes into the top lane to help, Hogger can get some camps, but I think Merc camps are going to be a lot more difficult for Baby on board in this game to pick up, whereas you have the Sonya on the opposite side, or Hanzo and Deathwing.
Agreed for sure. We'll see how this works out. Game number 3 on the left in the blue. Once again, it is Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Idiom's back on the Deathwing. Joshua Scott on the Sonya. Iron playing Lucio. Grand Paladin on the Anubarak. And Hiva is on the Hanzo.
10 seconds.
And for Baby on board, we have Mockery on Cassia for the 3rd game in a row. Terrax playing Hogger. Coffee, this time on Alarak. May being played by Cavalier Guest. And Kaiberries healing it up with Brightwing.
There we go. Game number 3 here on Dragonshire is underway. Hanzo going to be stacking those scatter arrows here on level 1, and Alarak going for the extended lightning quest. Going to try to get a little bit of range against this enemy team as we go straight into the wave clear. We'll see if there's any shenanigans. There's the pull and the silence onto Anubarak. If there's additional lockdown there, Anubarak can be pretty squishy. But, you know, as soon as Anubarak has any moments, just going to pop that unstoppable burrow to get on out of there.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to see what... I mean, I'm not a DPS player. I freaking suck at that role. I'm really interested to see how Coffee utilizes the Alarak here. Maybe to pull the Anubarak who's squishy, like you said, to not only silence him, but get the Mei stun and the Kaiberry's Brightwing Polymorph. But I mean, I'm just really worried about the macro ability here. Because now we have Mei getting stuck up top, or not top, in the mid lane, trying to wave clear against the Deathwing.
Deathwing will definitely have the edge there. Looks like we got a little bit of a 3v3 going on. We'll see if there's going to be some rotations coming out from our two squads, or if they're going to stick with this 1-1-3. Right now, Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to work on that left side siege as Mockery's starting that up for Baby on board. In the top lane as well, Sonya and Hogger going to go ahead and work on these bruisers. Hogger a little bit low here. Got to be a little bit careful. Down to about 200 health. Tarask, you got to survive, buddy. There you go. Hogger going to be just fine. Never doubted it for a second.
Tarask is like, not even close, chat. I got this. So Dragon probably not going to be captured. We have Cavalier Guest just zoning out the middle lane as Iron comes up, trying to just be a little pesky mosquito that Lucio is. And we have a big dragon versus a small dragon up in the top lane here. As Idioms tries to clear out this bruiser camp up top. Tarask looking down below for the siege camp here. Really good Merc camp play calls, utilizing Tarask's ability to take Merc camps pretty quickly. Kaiberry is definitely not going to have the most fun time here in the solo lane crush.
Somehow that bottom camp reset. It keeps resetting. Why is it doing that? That's very odd. It just keeps resetting. That means that Grand Paladin's going to go in here and Hogger's going to go down.
Gotta be pretty
very, very strange.
Here comes Idioms just to reconfirm and get this Merc camp here. We do have Cavalier Guest on the back line. Mockery with the charge strikes and trying to do as much damage as he can here. And the objective still contested. Oh, and Idiom's looking really low. Gotta be careful for Mockery here with the charge strikes, and Iron able to get everybody else out in time. And that was a tactical feed from Tarask here, just to bait the to think that he's not going to be able to capture the siege camp or the Merc camp.
Fighting on those points definitely going to favor. I mean, that's exactly where Alarak wants to be. Everyone in auto attack and silence range. So that working out there for Baby on board. They do manage to pick that up. Hogger sacrificing themselves for science, but moving them back up to the top lane to try to deal with this Sonya. And right now, the teams are just kind of moving and grooving, trying to find their levels, trying to get their level 10s, and make sure not to find anyone picked off too early here. As Phoenix Rising Xanthite definitely controlling the bottom lane. Oh, I missed it! Cassia with the rotation is going to interrupt the honorable 1v1 and pick up that kill for Baby on board.
Yeah, it was a nice gank in the top lane. Mockery coming in with the Cassia, and right at the last moment, Tarask just stuns the Sonya against the wall to confirm the kill top. But Idioms come in to help retake control of the solo lane here. While on bot, we do have a 3v3. Here comes Cavalier Guest with the stun. Iron able to bump on out with the Lucio, and here comes Mockery again, rotating down to make this a 3v5, and they do take the bottom objective, while Idioms on the top, taking the top shrine here as Tarax looks to clear the wave and try to regain top again.
Grand Paladin going to hold the point, going to be quick silence there by Alarak. Taken down to about 60% health. Because right now, Phoenix Rising Xanthite, now might be Hogger the one that's ganked in the top lane. Gets the Hog Wild. Going to try to get away here. Will get some space away from Deathwing and Sonya. Checking in the bottom lane, Mockery gets some damage. Grand Paladin going straight into the back line there, but pulled and silenced by Coffee. Right now, Mei is just sort of stuck in the mid lane trying to control that third point, as Phoenix Rising Xanthite have done a pretty good job of bullying out both lanes here.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising Xanthite, good job of controlling shrines, but with the Mei in the mid lane, especially with the level 1 Ice Storm, which gets more minion damage here, able to get a level lead. So with this 1-1-3, Baby on board looking to play for 10s, even though PRX is getting control of the shrines, as now we have both teams getting their respective siege camps, while Terras tries to take Joshua Scout out. Nope, it's going to be pretty much a shrine for Joshua Scott Sonya here up in the top lane with Crush. We see Cavalier gets coming up for the assist.
Oh, Hogger very low there. The splash damage from those slams is a pretty big deal. Is now in the mid lane. Cavalier Guest trying to turn this over. The ice wall is going to come on out as level 10s have come online for Baby on board. No one going to get caught on that one. Hogger going to come on down to try to turn this fight over as Alarak still trying to push out that bottom lane. Idioms still has the wall to retreat to, so going to be fairly safe there. But right now, PRX once again threatening a dragon as they find level 10s of their own.
And so we do have the Cocoon, and this time Wrath of Berserker on the Sonya here. No leap as we have a big arrow. Gets one. Idiom's coming in with the Cataclysm here. Iron trying to cleanse the enemy, cleanse his own team. Big Fear coming out onto Iron, just trying to heal as much as they can as PRX retreats in the bottom lane here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Terex looking a little bit low, but able to hogwall out with Joshua Scott chasing with the Berserker, and Terex able to get out just in time. Crush.
Right now, Sonya is really rocking that top lane with that slam build. Augur taking a lot of damage in those trades. Right now, Baby on board has done a pretty good job of rotating up there to make sure that solo matchup is cool. But right now, they're super busy down here in the bottom lane. Deathwing and Mei clashing in the mid. It's another 3v3 to deal with in the bottom lane, as there's still been no dragons, as we are now broaching level 12 for both squads. Uh-oh, Coffee could be in some trouble here, caught on this bottom shrine. Deathwing coming on through, but now it's Grand Paladin that's very, very low. Coffee manages to get the telekinesis on out of there. Ice Wall does not land onto Deathwing, and now Mockery is way in the thick of things. Idioms trying to move back here. Baby on board somehow just cannot find a kill.
I mean, it seems like it's just a stalemate here. So PRX able to get most control of the shrines, but Baby on board just able to keep pushing the lanes back further and further and further. Now Baby on board has both shrines. Anubrak going to be coming in about 5 seconds to the mid lane, but Idiom's looking pretty low with the Mockery chasing, and the Deathwing goes down. And this looks like an objective, the first dragon for Baby on board.
Joshua Scott almost got the channel there in the top lane, but we are going to see the red dragon for the first time in this game. Alarak still maintaining pressure on the bottom side. Will find level 13 here for Baby on board as the push through the mid continues. See, looks like Hogger is going to come on down here. This could be a tough defense for Phoenix Rising Xanthite as Grand Paladin gets kicked away. And this mid fort is almost certainly going to be going down with a minion wave on the way.
This is a pretty good push for first dragon for Baby on board here, as the Dragon Knight leads with 8% HP. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Joshua Scott just pushing the wave up top to get not only the bottom turn, but the mid gate. And now we have Baby on board trying to go for maybe at least the fountain down in the bottom fort here. But there is Cavalier Guest out of the dragon. Oh, and the dive just barely misses on Coffee. That would have been a dead Alarak here, but instead, Grand Paladin finds himself in a tough position here, and an Ice Wall. Gets 2 with the heal from Kyberries here. Idiom's trying to retreat out with only 20 armor here and 1200 HP. And, oh, what a nice pull and stun by Coffee.
Oh my goodness.
The damage from Alarak is starting to ramp up.
Iron just will not let anyone die. Right now, Tarrasco's going for a big camp steal. Joshua Scott has found them, though, so Portapult gonna have to be used, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite says thank you very much, and we'll pick up that left side bruiser. Right now we see Baby on board looked like they were moving across for a possible steal, but they'll just move on down to this bottom lane. And right now, the map is pretty even here. Baby on board, they're going to try to get some pressure with this bruiser camp. We'll see if Phoenix Rising Xanthite will come on in to contest.
Yeah, we do have a Deathwing up in the air with some full health coming down in over on Coffee, and Coffee just able to telekinesis out right at the last moment as Deathwing gets caught in the ice wall here. Cavalier gets diving in deep. and the siege camp or the bruiser camp gets put on to PRX, and oh, the fear on Cavalier Guest, along with a nice heal by Kyberries. Oh, and an arrow takes both, and Cavalier Guest goes on down. Oh, Crush, here we go. The Baby on Board team is going to lose maybe the Alarak here too.
Alarak with nowhere to go. Takes a big chunk out of PRX, but goes down. A very nice double kill there. That was a little bit back and forth. They had to try to kill that Mei a couple times. Great saves coming on in from Brightwing, but just not enough there. And now they're going to see how much they can get done with this bottom fort. With 2 members down, they'll definitely have some space to work.
I mean, in the top, that was a 4v5. I thought it was a 5v5 down in the bottom Bruiser camp, but Terras was up in the top getting the Bruiser camp. So hopefully, even though there was some kills on the Alarak, losing the sadism, hopefully you can get some value with this Bruiser camp, not just taking the shrine, but also hopefully getting the top wall and a fountain. And it looks like Deathwing coming in to help clear the camp. Meanwhile, here near the Bermuda Triangle, Cavalier Guest trying to anchor and control vision so the team can rotate pretty safely between the mid and the bot lane. This is looking like a PRX shrine control here. Haiva being scouted out by Terras here, who's hiding in the bush. And Coffee just with the level 16 able to get so much damage there with the light.
A little bit of trouble down here. Idiom's trying to hold this point. Cavalier Guest can't quite get the body block. Ice Wall comes on out, is going to capture the Deathwing. But without Hogger and Alarak, there's not a whole lot that can be done here. Grand Paladin, Grand Paladin could be in trouble. But Iron coming in with the high five and save. And they're going to turn around onto Cavalier Guest. There's the Cocoon coming out onto Cassia as Grand Paladin continuing to go in there. Baby on Board trying to turn this thing around, but Joshua Scott here as well. Hogger is still in the top lane. Baby on Board, they don't have a fort to retreat to. This could be a tough spot.
Oh, and looks like Terras is just able to divert a little bit of attention, trying to get the Sonya to not focus on the team fight in the bottom lane here, as the top shrine starts to get channeled from Joshua Scott for PRX here. We have a possible gank potential in the mid lane. Here comes Grand Paladin onto Cavalier Guest. Decides not to because he doesn't see the rest of the team, but instead, Joshua Scott gets the silence by Coffee here. No, 500 HP, and here comes the rest of PRX with a big arrow.
Huge
big
arrow.
Ice Wall comes out. Crush, this is a cataclysm. This is going to be an insane team fight.
Joshua Scott somehow still alive there. Idiom's very, very low, is going to get the shielding. Mockery trying to get those last hits, but Idioms is going to get away here. Alarak caught out. Can Coffee get away? Quick telekinesis repositions. There's the ball. Lightning is tearing apart PRX, but Iron with the pump it up saves. Oh my goodness, these team fights, you feel like one team is full dead, then they're full health. It's just back and forth like crazy here, X.
Yeah, like Kyber is doing a really good job just with those last-minute clutch heals, and that's more than one occasion when Coffee telekinesis out on Alarak at the right time. Like, I'm going to say it's skill, but if it is luck, I wonder how much luck is going to be left as the Dragonshire gets captured again. Baby on Board.
I wasn't even looking. I was in camp vision there. I was like, teams are going to trade out some camps. And a quick steal on the Dragonite by Alarak, and they're going to move down to this bottom lane to try to open up and get some parity with these forts. Right now, Hogger maintaining pressure in the mid could come on down here. The Dragon is going to move up and try to get some damage onto this fort. Cavalier Guest on the edge here, looking for a possible engage, is going to be seen. Ice Wall comes out, is not going to catch Grand Paladin as the polymorph is committed. Kyberries is caught in the cocoon, though. Phoenix Rising Xanthite is starting to move up.
Oh, the fear comes on out. Here comes Idiom's at about half health here, but Grand Paladin, even though Grand Paladin is always at a 4th or 8th HP, I mean, Iron is doing a really good job just saving it unstoppable with the high 5 here. And Dragonite at about 300 HP left, able to save not only the fort bot, but Pyrrhic saves the fountain bot too, which to me is a really handy victory as both teams with their level 16s going on to level 20s start to reset, regain map awareness, regain vision, and looks like, oh, I like this call by Baby on Board. They know that the PRX team is going down to the Bruiser camp, so they steal PRX's Bruiser camp as an answer to it.
This steal is going to be successful here for Baby on Board, picking that up. The Bruiser camp chosen in the bottom lane will bypass the lane here and smite itself upon the wall, actually. Right now, Baby on board, just trying to do all the macro that they can. Joshua Scott trying to save that well. The Bruiser camp is whacking away, though, and that's the top well down, so another bit of parity. Oh, Grand Paladin is going straight in there. Deathwing dropping on down. We have a full contest here. Idiom just getting absolutely shredded, though. Grand Paladin low as well. That's a Nubarak down. The Dragon Arrow whiffs. Somehow still alive here. Is the Sonia Lucio going to fall? The camp is taken by Baby on board, and it is a triple kill. Unbelievable. Hive is going to escape. What a call there from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Almost working out, but Baby on board, turn it around, pick up the triple, and now they're going to be pressuring this mid keep.
I mean, I understand the Grand Paladin's and Uberak play there. You wanted to try to engage before level 20s come up because they're only level 18s here. But there was just so much, as you were pointing out, damage going on Nubarak and Deathwing, especially with Coffee just going lightning surge after lightning surge right in the middle of that team fight, and just silences coming up all around. It's just too much.
They're gonna go for it.
Or call from Baby on board. Crush is not looking too good, as the next two heroes coming up for PRX are coming up at 5 and 7 seconds.
Ice Wall does not completely cut off the Nexus, but we're down to 50% on the core. Idioms is going to drop on down. Alarak uses the Counter-Strike. Core down to 10%. Baby on board. They're going to hit it, and there it is. What a push to finish. Unexpected victory there on Dragonshire.
I thought that match was going to go for both teams at level 20, Crush. I mean, really good play by the DPS's Alarak by Coffee, and of course Mockery's Cassia for Baby on board. But it was just like unfortunate team fights that ended up in BOB's favor that allowed them to get that last core call in the end. I
expected that to go at least 10 more minutes. Like, that was set up to be one of these Dragonshires where, like, both teams have all their keeps. We're past level 20. We're just going to see juking around the map. We're going to see moves back and forth. But PRX go for the gigantic knockout punch. And just, man, they were that close. Baby on board with their control tools pick up the victory. Like, I did not see that ending at that moment at all.
I mean, I think it's just tough because Mockery's getting so much value out of this Charge Strikes Cassia. Hanzo, played by Haiba, had about 57,000 DP damage here in this game, and almost doubled it by Mockery's Cassia. But you can't ban Tracer and Hanzo and Cassia and Uther. Like, there's just so much. And
yeah, I
mean, I think NGS teams that have these one-trick heroes, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because, like, for my team Beef Boys, Smart Killer, if you're watching, is a Hanzo one-trick, and being able to take out a possible meta ban with a not exactly the first ban-worthy hero is just playing in Baby on board's favor here, because it allows Mockery to not only take a Cassia that he's comfortable with, but opens up more draft compositions for Baby on board here.
It's, Tracer's not one that most ranged DPS players can just whip out when they want to. Hanzo a little bit more available, especially at the higher levels here, like Division A. But still, like you said, it's not something that you think about banning first all the time.
Exactly, and I was pulled for PRX that game because definitely one of my favorite heroes, and I always love seeing a bruiser type hero in the format, whether it's a Trash Lightning Thrall or a Sonya, especially a Deathwing here. But I mean, the Charge Strikes and the Charge Strikes and the Alarak Lightning Surges just got so much value for BOB. And I'll be honest, I definitely doubted the Alarak play there, but Coffee just playing those slippery heroes, and making Alarak slippery too. Just like a pleasure to watch him play these DPSs.
Those self-telekinesis were right on time, and that's, that's the mark of someone who's been playing Alarak for a while. You're not just doing forward combos, you're repositioning, you're making sure that you don't get blown up, well-timed counter-strikes. I mean, usually you see Alarak in, like, an early game Uther composition where you just do 2 stuns, a pull silence, and they're dead. This was more of a longer game Alarak, just not something that you get to see an awful lot. So, really, really cool to see. Looks like we're setting up for Alterac Pass here for game number 4.
Yeah, we have Mockery in the chat here. Says, "Oh boy, Tracer ban, Hanzo ban. Can't wait to play Cassia a fourth time." I do wonder if he's also tired of playing Cassia so much, but it's unfortunate. You got the big target on the team, but he's drawing the target away from his teammates, which is awesome too.
Oh yeah, I mean, Cassia's pretty fun. I've been working on my Cassia myself. It'd be cool to play that every game. But I mean, we'll have to see if it continues here. We are going to take a very short break here, just everyone gets settled. It's been a long 3 games. We're going to get set up for game number 4. So don't go far. We'll be back with more A East Finals. Alrighty, welcome back. We're getting set up here for game number 4 in this Division A East Finals. It's been a pretty good one here, X. What do you think so far?
I mean, I'm loving it. That last game on Dragonshire, we did see the Uther being taken out, and in terms of the drafts on both sides, still pretty powerful drafts. I mean, I didn't see much in terms of memeing or wacky comps, but now that we have All-Track Pass, when the teams don't have to necessarily be at each other's throats the entire time, it could face a lot of interesting plays here, because both teams have been known to play like globalish type comps, whether it's a stealth comp or Brightwing and ETC solo lane. So for this game of All-Track Pass, I wonder if there's going to be a focus on more global presence here, and wondering too if the Uther will be banned again, just to limit the options that both teams have, and kind of go into other support type choices for their drafts.
It's the art of drafting, right? You've only got the 2 bans available. There's so many things that can do well here on Alterac. It's like, what do we get rid of? What do we try to counterpick? It's a rich tapestry. We're going to see if these teams can unravel. I mean, Uther, so Brightwing's been doing very well, picking up 2 wins here for Baby on board. We're going to open with that Tracer ban, of course. But, I feel like maybe you keep the Hanzo open? It's tough. It's tough. What do you take away? The Uther is still a pretty big deal here.
I mean, I feel like you just still gotta take the Uther out, just because it gives BOB just too many options here. And if the Hanzo's up, at least this map is wide open, so that there's potential dive opportunity in the back line. But also potential for Zeratul to come back too, for Baby on board to harass the backline like he was doing in the first game.
It's going to be the Chromie ban. Chromie can definitely do some work around delaying the objectives for quite a long time, so I think that's a pretty good ban. There's actually going to be a Tychus ban by Baby on board. So Sonya, Hogger, Uther all up and available, as well as Brightwing. I mean, Uther's 2-0. There it is. Iron's going to go back to it and see if we can keep the unbeaten Uther streak up and alive.
Yeah, especially in the second game, they're able to take the Uther first pick. And what an answer by Baby on board, taking the next 2 meta picks, Sonya and Hogger. I mean, this could be triple front line, because
it's a bold stance. They've got the Tychus band away. I feel like right now they're saying, we dare you to go Uther Brightwing. We dare you to take a double support on Alterac Pass. So it's going to be the Diva here for Joshua Scott with the 2 top-tier solo laners chosen here by Baby on board. Locking that in early does make sense. Idiom's going to the Greymane this time. Greymane, not one that we get to see an awful lot, but can take that back camp very effectively. Great siege and great damage onto the bosses once we reach that point in the game.
And for Baby on board, like, they can play this double bruiser right now any way they want. If they want to go for team fight, they can. But in terms of boss and merc camp, I mean, it's pretty strong too. So both teams with pretty good drafts. One more on the side of frontline, the other more on the side of potential strong double support frontline here. And even though Uther was picked by the Iron, I mean, Grand Paladin can just try to throw everybody for a loop by switching out a double support to go against this frontline heavy Baby on board draft.
It is possible. May is still up and available, and May Uther is incredibly difficult to pass. See what the choice is. I mean, Cavalier Guest on the Sonya, almost certainly not going to be a Mei coming on out for them. We'll see what their picks are going to be. They're going back to the Cassia, and they're going to do a Lili support to grab that extra cleanse versus this Uther.
And, I mean, got the Lili blinds to help Mockery out with even more damage on this Charge Strikes build. And, I mean, he's going to probably go Charge Strikes again. You got an Uther and a Diva up front who's pretty much easy to hit with the auto attacks, especially when Cassia gets the increased range at level 13. Oh, we have the Garrosh pick for this and Hiva on the KT.
That is a lethal combination there. If Garrosh finds nearly anyone on the side of Baby on board, all the stuns and damage that comes out from that combo is going to get some executions here. Though honestly, unless they catch like Lili or Cassia, I mean, Hogger and Sonya are kind of pretty happy to be back there. Love to see what this pick is from Coffee. It's going to be a Karazim, so going with a little bit of extra healing there. Do you feel like this is Divine Palm coming out from Karazim to try to get the save on this kill combination from PRX?
I mean, I think it's a good question you're posing, and I wonder... I mean, definitely Kael'thas is not going to go Power Blast against double support, right? So maybe they're just looking for a little bit of extra burst with the 7-sided, but the Palm is not a bad option too. I just feel like in terms of this team fight, like if Baby on board isolates one person, Lili's not going to be able to heal that in time. Maybe barely with the 1,000 jugs, but Coffee's going to be the only one there who can do any sort of saving, but you're against a Greymane and a possible follow-up stun from Kael'thas, so I agree. I think it's going to be a Divine Palm from what you're saying, because Hogger and Sonya can just dish out damage with the Cassia.
We'll have to see what the choice is as we go into our game number 4, possible last game, but not if PRX has anything to say about it. They come in on the left in the blue. Joshua Scott on the Diva, Idiom's playing Greymane, Grand Paladin on the Garrosh, Iron on the Uther, and Hiva playing that Kael'thas.
And for Baby on board, we have Mockery. This time, interesting pick playing the Cassia. Kyberry's on Lili. We have Terras playing Hogger again. Cavalier gets main tanking it up with Sonya and Coffee. This time, the slippery hero of choice is Karazim.
Here we go. Game number 4 is underway. Quest Talents ahoy on the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. It is W Quest for Uther, Q Quest for Garrosh, and Globes for Kael'thas. Once again, going back to the charge strikes as Cassia, expecting these to be some long, drawn-out fights. And, you know, the way these games have been going, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, Mockery is going to be pretty tough to try to catch, especially when you have a Sonya Spear and a Hogger Q stun. I mean, if they can get the Hyper Carry Cassia into the back line, that's like pretty much a guaranteed team fight. But now we have, a Grand Paladin misses the stun, but takes the throw, and Iron holding out the stun for the Whirlwind, but there's Cavalier Guest going down for Baby on board for first blood.
Yeah, I mean, just that's what this comp is designed to do here from PRX. We're going to see Garrosh roaming on through, getting those throw stuns alongside Uther, alongside Kael'thas, dealing with so much damage here in the early game. Garrosh actually going to have to go deal with Hogger in the top lane for the time being, though, as Diva headed back to start this camp up for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. And we've got Karazim and Sonya working on this back camp. Karazim did go for Iron Fists, so not stacking Insight, instead just going for that reliable follow-up damage.
I thought in the top lane that Terras would be taken out because Grand Paladin was able to interrupt the Hog Wild, but Terras able to get out just in time in the top lane. And now, meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have 2 siege camps pushing in. Interesting, because, sometimes I'll see Garroshes when they play this map, they'll go with the increased throw range, like he did in the, I believe it was the first game. Just because in terms of the objectives, allows for the ability to throw heroes, especially on the left side, into your base. But, yeah,
it's
it looks
a cool
like
one when it happens. Yeah, it is kind of interesting to not see that, but Grand Paladin instead going for the cooldown reduction. Usually that's paired with the shield on level 13, so maybe a little bit worried for their life here. as we now see a heavy rotation into top lane. Idiom's trying to jump onto the Hogger here, but Tarask manages to get behind the wall. Uh-oh, Lily could be in trouble as Grand Paladin said, hey, where the heck you going? But Baby on board going to be okay for now. Grand Paladin trying to find the stuns again. Looks like Coffee going to get away, though. Right now, PRX, I mean, they're doing exactly what they need to do with this Garrosh setup. Is once again, Cavalier Guest going to get stunned. The throw is in, and that's going to be a dead Sonya. Very nice rotation there from Phoenix Rising Xanthite.
It is just gank heaven for Grand Paladin here from PRX. And camps are up, objective is up. Grand Paladin looking out for blood here. And I do want to say in the top lane, Idiom's doing a pretty good job against Tarask here. Just being so annoying and avoiding all sorts of skill shots that this Hogger is throwing out here. Staying at pretty much full health while Tarask has to constantly self-heal with a trade every single time. So really nice play by Idioms. And here comes Tarask trying to interrupt. The interrupt doesn't go off. That's the first channel of the objective for PRX for this first objective.
Looks like Baby on board will wrestle back this point, but they've got to find their level 7s before they can think about any kind of engage here. We'll see the Hogger move up to the top lane to try to deal with Idioms. Camps will once again clash here in the mid. Baby on board, pretty close to their level 7s, going to be looking soon. Sonya headed all the way back down to the bottom lane to match D.Va. Looks like these teams aren't super worried about getting onto this objective straight away.
And we have a pretty strong clear in the mid lane by PRX, so they're going to have some mid lane pressure. Maybe possibly able to have them channel a little bit more, but objective is only 24 seconds in favor of PRX, so they have to do a little bit of work. Here comes Grand Paladin with a possible bush, a stun by Iron Hive with the follow-up, and Coffee still able to get out, even though CC'd 3 times by PRX's team as those teams to reset and regain control.
The Radiant Dash from Karazim, always up and available. Going to be very difficult to get the kills onto Karazim, but Grand Paladin, I mean, you keep on trying, right? You just throw out the combos, and, you know, it's been working pretty well so far for PRX as they've now got themselves a pretty hefty experience lead, nearly half a level as they're on their way to level 10s. And right now, Idioms actually could be in trouble here, making an aggressive rotation, but a great save there. The empowered Netherwind from Hiva will save Greymane.
Yeah, nice peel from Hiva. Keltos peeling for a Greymane here. Who would have thought? Section, and right now, both teams are trying to get as close as they can to level 10s. Both solo laners in the respective lanes as... I mean, we just got solo laning, we got Grand Paladin just looking all over the map here. Even though he's not able to confirm any kills, his only person face-checking, which should be face-checking, is the Karazim here for Baby on board.
Absolutely. Karazim probably the best ward available. Besides, well, level 10 comes online. Hogger's not too bad with that ward ult. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit tough to see. You know, Baby on board, sight is very, very important versus a Garrosh, and they don't have a ton of options when it comes to warding, when it comes to scouting. This Grand Paladin coming along the outside, looking for a throw onto Mockery here. Cannot catch up, though. This level 10 is achieved by both sides, and it's still going to be the 7-sided strike for Karazim, so no palm saves coming on through for Baby on board.
But we do have 1,000... Jug of 1,000 cups for Lily. Well, I was wondering if there's going to be a damage Lily here, especially with the Serpent builds for 1 and 4. But opting for a hybrid build for the Lily here, and Karazim just going full on damage, so Coffee just going to have a grand old time. Especially, I feel like healer mains have really fun jobs when they basically just go damage Karazim and just whack on the enemy team.
Baby on board, scouting out Grand Paladin there as both teams just trying to position around this objective. Greymane coming on through, and PRX is going to start moving forward here with Sonya down in the bottom lane. Baby on board, got to be careful in these positions. They will not get the interrupt. The cross from the Lightning Fury almost working there. Unstoppable from Hogger is going to be enough for Tarask to escape. But the Sonya's still in the bottom lane. Looks like Baby on board is going to give up this first objective in favor of trying to catch up a little bit on this experience.
Yeah, so like you're saying, first objective for PRX. Sonya is rotating top, but only for double soaking here. As, yep, we have from PRX their objective going to march on in. In terms of...
Grand Paladin going right in there. 7-sided is committed by Coffee. Grand Paladin only getting hit with 2 of those 7 is going to walk out just fine. And we're going to have our Blue Raiders marching down the lanes here. We'll see what PRX can do with some of this pressure. Looks like they're going to start here in the mid lane.
In the mid lane, they did a good job of making the gate and the top turn here, but you got some in the outside lanes. You had the Greymane in the top and Diva in the bottom for PRX. Like, those are both strong pushers too, so unless Hogger and Sonya try to defend, it's going to be a pretty hard push. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the defense is left for 3. You got 2 supports and Mothra. Not the best wave clear, so I really like the split that PRX has for this objective phase.
Yeah, Baby on board. I mean, all Grand Paladin has to do is walk forward, and Baby on board are forced to retreat here. They give up that fort, and now Tarask in the top lane. Uh-oh. There is the throw in. They don't quite get the into the fray stun. Idioms manages to get away from that fort damage. Nice attempt there. Just barely out of range was PRX.
I really like that play. It was just like split seconds one after another. So as both teams look to get their siege camps, and level 13s have popped up. And I think Crush, I'm kind of wondering here in terms of late game. I see late game favored for Baby on board, especially for the Cassia, Hogger, and Sonya. I don't see much in terms of late game potential, except for level 16s for the Greymane for PRX.
Yeah, I mean, none of these heroes have huge spikes at level 16 or level 20. I mean, Kael'thas has some pretty good damage on that level 16 tier. It can be a little bit safer generally. You see that flamethrower picked up on 20. But, I mean, Cassia starts doing a ton more damage on 16. If we see the, I believe it's Titan Stopper on 20, where Cassia starts to ignore armor, that's going to be an absolute nightmare for Garrosh here. So we're going to see PRX. They're starting to rotate down. Joshua Scott has this scouted. 2 members of PRX are a little bit behind. Greymane very much behind. They're going to start moving onto the point here. Cleanse is used. Cavalier gets thrown onto the point, and here we go. Jug of 1,000 Cups comes out trying to get the save, but look at the Diva Bomb exploding too. Now Sonya and Karazim are down. Hogger is going hog wild on the point. That's a triple kill for Baby on board. PRX does pick up the boss though. Uther Ghost enough to keep PRX alive. They stay on the point. Wow, what a Diva explosion.
Oh, these bruisers, man, they're just doing some work, Crush. I mean, you got that Diva explosion, and Terrace and the Hogger just ripping through with the Hog Wild, especially since that level 13 Hog Wild decreased any amount of spell damage by 50%. I mean, we've been saying this in the past couple of games, but Terrace really good at finding some crazy angles or some crazy constrictions with that Hog Wild. Like, I've been really liking watching this play here.
Very nicely done. The bottom fort will be taken out by this boss, but it will march no further. Right side camp is picked up by Baby on board. We see rotating through Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They're hoping to find something before level 16s come on through. Baby on board, not rotating aggressively, just moving through, getting these waves cleared up. And we see Tarask just double checking that top boss, make sure there's no big plays going on. The PRX just picking up their back camp here.
Yeah, and level 16 is coming up for both sides here, and this is where the spike happens. We'll see if Baby on board can take advantage, because you have 3 sources of percent damage. One from Sonya, one from Hogger, and then another from Cassia. And then Garrosh, probably not going to be able to play as aggressively as you want as they make the top. And here comes Grand Paladin, not able to get on the point.
Oh no, not there fast enough.
Oh, and Grand Paladin able to get out. And Crush, that's 4 sources of percent damage. I forgot about Karazim's 7-side strike.
Yeah.
Garrix's tank here.
All of a sudden, Garrosh not nearly as safe as we have 16s coming online. Baby on board with the full push here. Thrown into the back, stun taunted. Sonya is destroyed. And Baby on board forced to try to retreat here. They lose the Sonya. And they're going to have to back off from this push. Mid lane camp is still up and available here for PRX. It's cleaving down this mid wall. So they, Phoenix Rising Xanthite doesn't get to the boss point on time, but what a throw kill combo coming out from Grand Paladin.
Paladin playing out of his mind these games. I mean, his Anubrak, I really liked his Anubrak play, but dang, that throw on the Sonya so unsuspectingly, it surprised me. As they go down to march onto this objective with Sonya coming up in 5 seconds, so we'll be able to defend against this. They will have some mid lane pressure with the siege camp, while Diva tries to capture their own siege camp for PRX's side. And I mean, I wonder how Grand Paladin's going to play now. There's no boss to hide in. You just got an objective here, and Uther can't heal through that percent damage. So, can Baby on Board take advantage of 4 sources of percent damage, or can Grand Paladin throw an enemy into his team of Greymane, stun from Uther, stun from Kael'thas? Like, it can go for both sides.
I mean, we've seen it now. Like, all it takes is one good throw, and PRX has the fight in their grasp. Seven-sided once again popped by Coffee there in response to the throw. Joshua Scott manages to get through the loot horde. Tarrasque's all over the backline. He has to use the loot horde to reposition. Coffee gets the channel here, but that'll be quickly reclaimed. Nice knockback by Augur there. Uh-oh. Unstoppable spot by Garrosh. Grand Paladin trying to get away here. The throw into the backline. Augur is spinning to win. Joshua Scott on the backline, though, is zoning out the rest of Baby on Board. Drops that bomb. Augur is going to be taken out here. Incredible zoning coming on through from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. As Idioms is thrown in, Coffee with nowhere to go is going to fall as well. Cavalier Guest taken out. It's a triple kill for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. And that is all Joshua Scott there. What a play on the Diva.
Totally agree. I mean, when Grand Paladin threw Augur into the backline, I'm like, oh, you got these angles that Terrace is really good at, and that's a pretty small choke that he got thrown into, but Terrace not able to get out without dealing that much damage. And oh man, the Joshua Scott Diva bomb was just beautiful in terms of zoning. Very nice play by Joshua Scott, and Grand Paladin living another day, just I guess laughing in the face of these level 16 spike for Baby on Board. Crush.
Absolutely. I mean, they played that fight as perfectly as they could. They separate one, find the kill, and now they've got a camp in the mid. They've got an objective coming on through. This could be 2 keeps here. Mid keep is already down. Level 20 is not even close here for Baby on Board. We're going to see PRX move on down to the bottom lane, and with all of their structures still up, Baby on Board, they're going to have a steep, steep mountain to climb here.
Yeah, and now we have PRX marching down into the bot lane. I mean, whether they get the bottom keep or not, they are going to be guaranteed the top 4 most likely. And so level 20 is about a 4th of a level away for PRX as they try to come and take this keep, which is about at 2/3 HP. Here comes a taunt, the stun.
Big taunt comes out. Cav is taken down. Sonya falls.
Really good follow-up by Iron on Uther and the Kael'thas play by Hiva there. As the 7-sided site comes on out, the PRX team looks really low here. Terrax on the back line able to hold out, and PRX able to walk on out with a keep. Oh, Coffee still diving into the enemy team here. Hiva getting healed by Iron. Coffee just playing that slippery melee assassin Karazim. Idioms
Gosh, the chase is still going.
There. Oh, this is a for BOB. They're deep now, and they have a long way to go if they want to retreat. Crush.
Tarrasque's stunned, and Augur is down. That's a huge stagger here for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. They've got the mid and bottom keeps down, and looks like they're going to try to move forward onto this core. They're marching down the lane. They've got their level 20 advantage. No Augur. Sonya is about to come up here, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite do not want to risk it with this active core.
They have level 20's been said. They're looking to get a boss fight. As in the top section, we have a keep getting chipped slightly down by the minion wave. And this is potential to end because 2 keeps down. That's 2 armor plates off of the objective. So BOB sees this. They know they can't get level 20s in time. So they're just marching in, hopefully with some ults. Nope. Cavalier Guest.
They're going to have to jump on. They're going to have to do it now. Coffee on the outside. Cavalier Guest is in. Sonya's on the point. Here they go. The Diva Bomb is out, though. The countdown is on. So many going to get hit here. Sonya down. Boss taken by Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Baby on Board were desperate. They tried to go in there, but denied once again by Joshua Scott. And now we've got a boss marching onto the core, and Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they're going to have a 5v4 with this boss. It looks like they're going to give it a shot.
I mean, Joshua Scott just playing out of his mind this game, able to make sure he has the bomb and saving it for the right opportunities here. As we have 5 people against 4 from BOB as the boss marches up. This is a full boss at 17 minutes into the game, pretty strong. And that, the core is going down to a 4th. Crush is not looking too good for Baby on Board in this game.
Idioms is very low, though. We got the no control on the back line. Idioms is actually going to go down here. The boss is on the core, though. Core at half health. Hogger goes down as well. 7-sided comes out. Grand Paladin finds the taunt onto Karazine. The core down past 8,000 health. The boss still very, very healthy. And Phoenix Rising Xanthite are going to take this game number 4. Unbelievable stuff.
Dang! What a what a game! These two teams really giving a good finals here, Crush. I mean,
wow.
Joshua Scott Dang with those crucial zoning bombs. Did he go? What towns did he go for? He didn't go bomb towns, did he? I think so. No, he didn't go bomb builds.
No, got the hit, a nitrous. Yeah, just the standard stuff.
Dang, it's all about control there, and you know, maybe it's the Uther game thing. Like, both teams, whoever had Uther was able to be pretty strong in the team fights here. And I mean, PRX, I loved how they played this game. Like, Grand Paladin on Garrosh, of course, with the great throws, especially on Cavalier Guesses Sonya. Uther and Hiva, I gotta say, it's really easy to follow up a Garrosh throw and stun with Uther. But Hiva doing a really good job of following up with the Netherwind at E, just to confirm any kill that was put in the backline. Just easy pick and break was Greymane. And I mean, this was just melting one-shot blow up comp for PRX, and I'm just surprised the Garrosh didn't get blown up instead.
It was, wow, I mean, Grand Paladin just found pick after pick there. It was, I honestly didn't expect PRX to get the positioning that they did, but I mean, the throwing of Uther into the enemy team as an engage worked out several times. Joshua Scott just causing all sorts of havoc on that Diva. Just, I mean, it was really, really good, because like we were saying, the late game looked like it was really going to be favoring Baby on Board with the damage profile. But PRX just found the fights they wanted again and again.
Yeah, I really thought that Babe on Board could get a stronger macro play because they had the Hogger and the Sonya, but I have to hand it Idioms with the Greymane was able to bully the Hogger in the top lane like pretty well, which I didn't expect. I'm not going to go soloing Greymane anytime soon, but I think because of that control and then because of Diva able to just match the Mercamp timings with Baby on Board, able to get the mid fort like pretty easily, and then soon after the bottom fort, and it was just a march on for a core call at the end of the game.
Looks like we've got our last lobby up and running here. We're going to be going to Towers of Doom for game number 5 as chosen by Baby on Board. We're going to have ourselves a quick break from the players, so let's take a little bit of a quick break ourselves. Sit tight. We'll be back soon. Alrighty, welcome back. We're setting up here for game number 5 in this NGS Division A East Coastal Finals. It's coming right down to it, X. This is a big one.
Yo, this is it's been a fun match to cast, and I'm sure for all you viewers out there, it's a fun match to watch too. Like, This is the type of finals we've been looking for, like some wonky drafts, some good bands, and some crazy and insane back and forth team fights. I wonder if in this last game we're gonna see like more traditional, if we're gonna see some, you know, triple bruiser, like something weird to just top it all off. But I mean, if I were either of these teams going into game 5, it's Towers of Doom, I just look to play a little bit on the safe side and just leave it up to execution in terms of drafting. For
you know, I mean, Towers of Doom, I feel like we're gonna see double support come on back. I wouldn't be surprised to see Deathwing come on back. It's you know, it's the ultimate match. The teams are gonna try to find their way through the, you know, the intermatch meta of the draft and try to outplay each other. This is going to be just a titanic draft and a titanic game here on, arguably the best final game map we have here to offer in Heroes of the Storm and Towers of Doom. And we are going to get right into the draft here. Oh,
I'm glad you said that this is an awesome map, because this is my favorite map too, just because, in many MOBAs, you don't have an untargetable core, right?
mhm.
And so whenever I hear people saying they hate Towers of Doom, I never know why. Like, is it because you can't target the core, or is it because they hate the bottom fort that's so important to this game? Like, there's just so many complexities.
Yeah, it just depends on what they like to play, right? If you're a lane pushing Asmodan, then maybe Towers isn't for you. Everyone's got their preferences, and it's usually based on how AFK you like to be. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Those are the same people that like Warhead Junction, I'm sure. So that's like an Asmodan field day. And I know there's been like those Reddit posts memeing up the next patch coming up, but I was kind of hoping for like some type of Warhead Junction rework to send it back. That'd
be cool.
Yeah, that way Hanamura, which is my least favorite map, can be put back into quick match. But Warhead Junction's always been like very interesting because like you don't really have much team fights. It's all about solo lanes all across the map.
Yeah, pretty much. We are going to see the Uther ban work along with the regular other three. Tarask going back to the Hogger. So, we're starting off pretty familiar here. We'll see if Phoenix Rising Xanthite is going to throw any wrenches into this mix. The last time we were in this sort of situation, we saw the Hanzo snipe coming on through from PRX. See if they want to try that again here, or if they've got something else planned. It's going to be the Sonya once again from Joshua Scott, and Hiva is going to pick the Chromie if they were not able to ban away.
Chromie's strong pick here on Towers of Doom. Able to delay the tribute on your own side like pretty handily here, and just the zone control is going to be really tough for Chromie, for Baby on board here. But we don't see Cassia. Is something wrong with the stream? Crush?
I think there must have been a mispick there, because there's no way Mockery doesn't pick Cassia here. With it up and available, Mockery finally able to pick up a Hanzo after 4 games of Cassia. We'll have to see whether Mockery remembers what the buttons are. It's going to work out there for Baby on board, as we see Phoenix Rising Xanthite removing that Brightwing that has served Kyberries well so far this series. Baby on board, they're looking at a Sonya and a Chromie. I don't know, I feel like I just banned Deathwing here, given how many times PRX have brought him out.
Yeah, I agree. Like, PRX has not only one, but 2 players that are pretty good. But they, taking out the Garrosh from Grand Paladin there. Really, Grand Paladin playing a really good Garrosh, but I wonder if Grand Paladin's going to go for the new Bragg pick. I was also thinking, how we're just kind of poking fun at Mockery playing so much Cassia, but has Terrace played Hogger this entire series?
I think there was the ETC, and I think it's been Hoggers all the way through from there.
So the semi one-tricks on Baby on board here, but Idiom's taking away the Zeratul from Coffee here.
Oh, a Chromie Zeratul. That's, it's a combination that I've tried to make work. In theory, it works. But, if you miss those skill shots, the early game can be very, very rough, as Zeratul doesn't offer a lot in that early game. He's bringing out the Rhaegar, and it's going to be a Li Ming for Coffee. Rhaegar, not one that we get to see an awful lot.
I wonder if this means we're going to have an auto-attack Hanzo here. I find the Zeratul into the Li Ming pick kind of scary, and it's kind of cool to see the Zeratul into like the Hanzo and Li Ming, because Idiom's just basically putting his foot down saying, I'm going to challenge you, backline. Challenge your second pick hero, Mockery, the Hanzo. And Coffee, I know you're a good damage dealer and you play Zeratul, so I'm going to show you what I got. So I feel like Hiva on Zeratul here just throwing down some glows and just going for a good game 5 drama here.
Should be a very interesting one as I go ahead and switch who's playing what. It is going to be Haiva on that Zeratul. Yeah, that's a pretty cool pickup there on the Zera. Like, similar to the Zeratul we saw from Coffee earlier in the series, there's not a ton that Baby on board can really do about it. I mean, Li Ming's got some, okay repositioning. Hanzo a little bit less so. I mean, Rhaegar gonna have to be on point with those heals and those shields. Otherwise, maybe Baby on board just tries to run it straight down there and nullify any of the poke damage from our Zeratul.
Yeah, I wonder if... I don't see an Ancestral here. I mean, I love Ancestral like a bajillion times more, but I feel like it's not going to be able to heal fast enough through any type of Zeratul blow-up.
You will have to see as we're now getting into game number 5. On the left in the blue, again, it is Phoenix Rising Xanthite with Joshua Scott on the Sonya, Idioms on the Chromie, Haiva playing the Zeratul, Iron on the Deckard, and Grand Paladin on the Anubarak.
And on Baby on board, we have Mockery playing, Hanzo. We have Hogger being played by Terras, Li Ming by Coffee, Mei being played by Cavalier Guest, and Kyberries on the Rhaegar.
Game number 5 is underway here. See Hanzo going with that scatter quest on 1, so not going with the redemption. And looking like no quests to be found on the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite to start things off. Unless we see the Globe quest from Zera. It is going to be the normal, or more standard cleave build that we tend to see from Zeratools these days.
Most likely, if cleave build usually means avoid prison, and I'm looking at the Baby on board team comp. So if we have avoid prison, can set up well with an arrow with a big old fat orb from Li Ming, but I mean it's pretty much it. Just we have to make sure there's no beetles.
Coffee could be in trouble there as Mei trying to zone out, finds the one stun. Oh, but Zera is there. And Li Ming will fall as first blood. Phoenix Rising Xanthite going to go ahead and pick that up. And it looks like Zeratul hanging around the mid here, so not going to try to tempt the double soak fate of Sonya versus a Hogger. And that is something you can really pull off with a Zeratul here on Towers of Doom. Zera's 4-man presence in the early game, not that strong, but able to just sort of sit back and soak.
Yeah, and right now we have 2 siege camps being taken up by each team, and in the meantime we have the typical double soaking from Hogger and Sonya here. We do see a little scuffle in the mid lane, but nothing that Joshua Scott can't get out of as Terrax soaks the lane. And we have
big invade.
Yeah, no. So I'm just gonna stay with the Hogger here while we have an invade on the camp. The Zeratul goes down, and Grand Paladin looking in a little bit of trouble, just getting melted down by Mockery here, who went the W build, and that's 2 down for PRX.
Maybe on board, we see Mei by Cavalier Guest very, very strong at holding those points for quite a long time there. Anubarak ran out of tricks and PRX forced to back off, so favorable engage there for Baby on board that will give them some advantage in clearing away this bottom lane. But right now, we see Baby on board. They've got to babysit that middle a little bit as Zeratul continues to help out the Sonya in that double soak war.
Yeah, I always like this type of roaming, ganking hero in the mid and top lane, just because, we have Grand Paladin in a little bit of trouble down the bot lane. Maybe it's also getting chunked, and Grand Paladin dealt with 517 health as the altars activate in 20 seconds.
Top lane gank possible here. Oh, Joshua Scott actually going down. Haiva trying to chase Tarask here. Hogger is going to get slowed. Can't get behind the wall. Oh my goodness. I think Haiva could have gone and worthed it. I don't think it would have been worth. But, sometimes you see a Zeratul try to pull that off.
I love it. Gotta play for the fans sometimes. Nice. PRX gets
Channel goes through.
For the bottom turn, Grand Paladin, just gets the tip.
Grand Paladin in a ton of trouble here. Is Mockery on the chase. One more auto, and that's going to be it for Anubarak. Phoenix Rising Xanthite come out ahead on the trade as Baby on board could not interrupt that bottom altar. But they pick up the extra kill here, and now they're ahead 4-1 on these kills. Not exactly what you expect against an Anubarak comp.
Yeah, and the Zeratul has to play for the late game, and I mean, they're only about a level behind. A 7's come online, 4 baby on board. In terms of talents, oh, we have Cavalier gets coming
Iron. Oh my goodness.
Deckard. Whoo! Cavalier gets playing so well this game with Mei. I mean, just a strong hero, and I feel like if you're a tank that doesn't play any Mei at all, you're missing a whole lot in terms of what you can do in terms of impact on the team.
It's just, I mean, there's so much zone control there. You see Cavalier Guest trying to get on the other side of a Nubrak, can't quite do it. Grand Paladin is getting just absolutely shredded. I mean, you think of the matchup of Li Ming versus a Nubrak, you've got the Beatles in the way. There's not a lot that tends to go well in that matchup, but I mean, Coffee is just on point with that targeting. Hanzo's auto attacks are really doing a number on a Nubrak here in the early game. And Baby on board with more of a lead than I expected. I mean, I expect them to be ahead into a Zeratul comp, but they're doing very, very well as they go in for another invade. Taras gets onto the point.
Oh no, May's going to be able to zone him out with the Blizzard here. Hyva and friends has to leave, and that's 2 pumpkins marching into the bot lane as the altars come up in about 10 seconds. Sonya and Hager going to be duking out mid lane. Or have this fight to defend the pumpkins. Cavalier gets posturing for another Blizzard. Grand Paladin looking for some engage. Q is out right now. Hyva right in the middle of the enemy team. Idioms doesn't get stunned. So here we go. We have slowing stance on Cavalier Guest. Nice stun by Grand Paladin. And Cavalier Guest
on the chase.
Out by Hyva. I mean, Crush, now we have Hyva just being surrounded and is able to get out just in time.
Phoenix Rising Xanthite, they get the mark onto the Mei. Great follow-up there. Now they're going to be able to move onto this bottom channel. Hogger did get that top channel. So right now, Baby on board just trying to do a little bit of delay down here to allow Hogger to catch up on that experience. As level 10s are pretty close, if Baby on board can continue to interrupt, Mei is now on the way.
And about 5 seconds out, here comes Mei to make this a 4v4. Hyva, Hyva coming in with the cleave. Kyber is looking really well. Mockery here. And Hyva gets another kill. Hyva just flexing that melee assassin muscle right now. And that's another objective going for PRX. It is 28 to 40. Though on PRX's side, they are going to be a little bit closer to losing their fort. So let's see if they try to push the bot keep here for that control.
And they try to maintain their pressure here. Both teams have their level 10s. It is ancestral healing for the Rhaegar. So trying to come in with that save potential. Deckard does have the Emerald to try to reduce the healing from that Ancestral, so that's going to be something to look for. Other than that, it is going to be the Disintegration Beam from the Li Ming to try to counter the Cocoon, which was picked up by a Nubarak. Some good smart choices on these heroics from both sides.
And we have a Dragon Strike coming out from Mockery's Hanzo here. Level 20 is going to be scary, not just for Baby on board, but also for PRX here too. So we see this go right to level 20s. It's just going to be an epic final showdown here as Ice Wall comes out, doesn't get anybody, and Coffee just throwing in orbs, trying to hit somebody on PRX's team. And here comes Hyva. Hyva has Hyva didn't go Void Prison.
No, it's Might of the Nerazim.
Yeah, so it's a cleave at 1 with an auto attack build to help out. So main thing that he's missing is just less blinking. So I guess he's feeling pretty comfortable. He's just going to be sticking to heroes all the time, not needing the blinking talent at level 1.
I was honestly expecting a VP combo with Deckard setup and chrome damage, so deciding to instead go in for those solo kills, which honestly has been working out in the early games so far. We've seen Zeratul wipe up multiple kills even before level 10 here. So trying to lean on that advantage that PRX has had so far. It is a double top lane altar. Looks like it's going to be a trade unless Sonya can get there in time. No, Hogger gets the channel there, so it's just going to be a trade. Cavalier gets going in. There's the Dragon Strike. Time Stop, though, comes out onto Iron. Mei is forced to pop the trait. Grand Paladin is very, very low. The Li Ming Orb actually is going to go through and hit the Deckard. No! Iron able to survive. Iron manages to avoid the next orb. Hyva and Sonya are on the way. Here's the leap from Joshua Scott. The spear does not land. Mockery trying to get away from Hyva here. Scatter Arrow does not land. Cavalier Guest in all sorts of trouble, and Mei is going to go down. Oh no, Coffee could be in the wrong neighborhood here. Trying to create some space, but Grand Paladin is coming on through. There's the blink. Coffee gets hit with the spear. Oh, Ming is going to survive. But losing Mei in the scuffle Phoenix Rising Xanthite with the advantage.
That was insane. I mean, I thought pretty much Iron was done for within that fort, but Grand Paladin with the beetles and himself the body block. And also, we have Iron just sidestepping a lot of the leaping ores after the stay along listen too. So right now, we have a pause from the PRX side, but I mean that team fight was crazy. I thought the Hanzo was gonna die to ADM's or to the Zeratul, but Hanzo was able to stay alive. It was just, whew, that was an adrenaline pumping fight right there.
Man, just check, counter check coming on out from both sides each time. May, you know, a master at surviving for quite a long time, but Phoenix Rising Xanthite have done a really good job of maintaining their position while May is self-rooted. So they're able to pick up those kills early. Zeratul is doing a good job of scattering the backline of Baby on board. And yeah, this is going to be a good one as we jump back into the game here. Just a little bit of quick lag, and we are back in it.
Level 13's up for both sides. I mean, we got pretty much even towers, pretty much even levels, even kills. I mean, I think the main advantage right now is that there's no wall and half a keep for PRX's side, but clock is ticking as their tool inches closer and closer into the late game. But I mean, we have Zeratul late game to be a force to reckon with for PRX, but Mopler's Dragon Strike cooldown at level 20 is also going to be insane, especially around the points. So we'll see who can get to level 20 first, who can get to those overpowered talents as the altar spawns up in about 18 seconds.
It's going to be a single bottom lane altar. Right now we see Hogger sticking to the top lane, going to try to get some work done with that top lane camp. So Sonya closer to the fight here, and so far the faster fights have enabled PRX to come out ahead here. Hogger now showing with that camp capture. There's the ice wall, actually going to capture 2 here, but Sonya coming on through to the back line. There's the Dragon Strike going to come on out, and Iron in all sorts of trouble, but Kyberries is caught as well. Huge sleep coming on out from Iron, as somehow Deckard's still alive. It's a double kill onto Hanzo and Rhaegar. Li Ming going to go down as well. Cavalier Guest caught with nowhere to go. Here's Hogger showing up, trying to wake up 1 kill. Gonna find the kill onto Deckard. There's the Hog Wild. Can Taras get out? No, it looks like the body block is in. It's a full ace for PRX for the price of Deckard Cain.
Ah, crush. That was so nutty. I mean, Cavalier Guest had an awesome ice wall, an awesome blizzard, but Idiom's able to just not time stop, but just ice wall out of any damage, and Deckard just heals himself like a boss. So the Dragon Strike May Ice Wall combo was pretty much negated, unfortunately, allowing PRX to just flip that team fight on. And now they're level 16s coming on to this invasion of the pumpkins. And I mean, we all know what it means when you have control of that bottom fort. It's kind of a clock ticking down because they have advantage over any objectives that spawn bot. Usually the top left goes to the left side, top right goes to the right side, but whoever controls the fort will be able to get the bottom objective.
Sappers are marching down this bottom lane. We've got a 4v4 here, but level 16s are in for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. You see Coffee trying to clear these away. 1 down, 2 down. Sappers, one's still up there. Someone's going to have to auto-attack that. There we go. All the Sappers taken away here. But Phoenix Rising Xanthite, Idioms is a little bit low on mana. We'll see if Baby on board have the opportunity to move up and put some damage onto this keep, as we see Zeratul now back trying to grab that Sapper camp. And Baby on board, they've got a lot of work to do here. Oh, Ice Wall's actually going to come out and catch someone, X.
No, oh, and he's able to get out just in time. Grand Paladin able to make a nice escape. And Baby on board doing some good damage on the fort, able to get it down to about 2/3 HP. And I mean, Crush, something I've noticed in these past couple of fights is Joshua Scott Sonya is always able to rotate down into the bottom objectives, while Taras decides whether or not to stay top, get some pressure top, or to go bot to join the team. And so after Sonya and Hogger capture these objectives, I do wonder who's going to be faster rotating bot to help with the defense.
So far, Sonya has definitely had the rotational priority throughout this match, as we see a whole 10 shots going onto the core of Baby on board, putting them down to 10 core health here, and still trying to clear away this bottom lane. is Baby on board. They're clearing away these sappers. This keep is still above half health. And Zeratul headed to the top lane to try to harass Tarask here. There's the leap coming on in. Full combo comes out, and there goes Hogger. That's going to mean a lot of lost XP for Baby on board here. Nice pickup by PRX.
Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, we have Stay a While Listen coming on. There's a 3v4 defense from PRX here. Cocoon comes on the Hanzo, who is able to be broken out just in time. And here comes Zeratul trying to make some plays. We do have Oxygen, Cavalier Guest, a little bit slow, but able to get on. Haiva just playing a little patiently here as he comes in straight for the Li Ming. Oh, and misses the Singularity Spike.
Spike
but
not quite hitting.
Big waves crashing in the top and the mid.
Sonya doing double soak. May has had to break off and try to catch some of that experience as Hogger is only just now respawning. And what a hold here by PRX, able to go through a whole wave of those Sapper Camp cooldowns. And Baby on board, they're just kind of stuck here. They've got to find an opportunity to move onto this bottom fort. It is just a single spawn, so the game can't be ended just yet as Coffee blinks away from the combination. But Baby on board, they're running out of time here.
Yeah, I mean, you got this potential Ultra that can send 5 shots to the core. That's 5 out of 10 shots. And if they can walk at least one of these pumpkins in, they'll be able to make some sort of boss call. But it looks like instead, Baby on board, they're posturing to come from the top because they know how important this objective is, especially pre-20. So here we go. We have Haiva posturing in the wave. Grand Paladin looking split off from the enemy team here.
Coffee in big trouble.
Oh,
there's the Ancestral
team. Joshua Scott marching in top, and we see Zeratul about half HP. Grand Paladin trying to posture for some type of stun. Cavalier gets diving in. Kyberries gets the channel for this objective.
Nice work there by Baby on board. They move around, but they lose 3 shots to the Sappers. They're going to try to move in here for an invade. And I think it might be desperation time once again for Baby on board. There's a huge leap! It's 3 dead! Zeratul with a massive cleave off the Might of the Nerazim. Coffee trying to blink away, but with nowhere to go. Kyberry's caught as well. PRX wipe it up with a clean ace. They have 7 shots left on the core. They've got Sappers marching down the bottom lane. I think they're going to make a boss call and try to end with those Sappers. Can these Sappers actually get there in time? It's 24 seconds until May and Hanzo are back.
I mean, Sonya's going down like the split here. This is going to be really tight if May and Hogger come out just in time.
Here they come. I don't think Baby on board reses in time. Sonya's clearing the wave. That's going to be it. Phoenix Rising Xanthite with the ace on the camp. Here go the Sappers, 1, 2, 3. And Phoenix Rising Xanthite picks up the victory. Incredibly well done. GG.
Oh, man. I understand what was going on there. I mean, it was pre-20 still. And Baby on board wanted to force some kind of fight because, I mean, once 20 is up, you can't really do anything. You have to stay... What are you going to do? Stay behind and... just wait to gain 3 levels and let PRX give that to you? Like, it's nothing. They can't do anything. So
they had to make some kind of play there for sure. I mean, it had been all game long, basically. The last half of the game, they were stuck down in that bottom lane. They had to try to make something happen. They created the space on the channel. They go for the camp steal. They needed to open up the map, but what a combination from PRX. The leap, capturing 3, the Might of the Nerazim cleaves to come in for the victory. Wow, what a comp, what a play. PRX moves on to the grand finals.
I mean, looking at the game summary here, we have 15 kills versus the 6 in favor of PRX. And I have to say, like, Baby on board definitely played a good game that game, but I think it's just really tough to play a double mage into Zeratul. And I mean, even then, not even to say just the draft, but Joshua Scott and Grand Paladin on the Sonya and the Nubarak combined with Irons Decker was just able to get CC just out the wazoo. And then Chromie, played by Idioms, was just able to get damage after damage and time stop after time stop. I definitely feel like the big turning point was down in that bottom objective when Cavalier Guest had a really good Ice Wall and a really good Blizzard, but unfortunately it was Chromie and Decker that was caught in it. So was able to negate a lot of that damage and just go through too. So I mean, it was just really unfortunate such as circumstances for the team fights, but all in all, a great game to end on game 5 for PX versus Babies on board, and just looking forward to seeing the coastal finals in the future, or the grand finals in the future.
It's gonna be quite the matchup. We're gonna bring it on back here, and we got ourselves a little bit of an interview set up. So I'm going to cut the video, and we're gonna jump on down there to meet PRX. I'll see you down there in a second, Nick.
All right, sounds good.
Alrighty, let's go find them.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, we'll let the crew come on through. You got any more people coming?
I think everyone's coming.
they're all in casting lobby 3. We're just trying to get dragged down there because we don't have firm
Oh no!
stock.
All right, here they come. Just need one more. Get Joshua Scott. We'll just pull him on up here, and there we go. We've got the full squad here, or the full squad that was playing today at least. The Hydra's here too, so we got pretty much everyone from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Congratulations on the 3-2.
Yeah, thank you. It was a crazy series. It was a really good series.
And just incredible back and forth. Tell me a little bit about, tell me about the drafting. Game after game, it seemed like there was a lot of evolution in terms of the bans and counter picks there. You know, you got to bring out a couple of good counter strats, but really it seemed like both teams were playing fairly straight up for most of that series. Did you come in thinking the drafts were going to go that way?
Yeah, so we did our scouting on them. It's mostly Hydra that did the scouting, so shout out to Hydra for that. But as the series evolved, like you said, it did, everything kind of changed a little bit at a certain point. So we had one of our bands set in stone, and we just had to like kind of change up our drafts a little bit to match what they were doing. I think the exception to that rule was kind of Towers of Doom, where it was a stranger draft, I guess you could call it, from both sides. But yeah, like drafting against that team, a very well drafted team. So they definitely know what they're looking for. They look for what they know what they're denying. And we expected some of it, but they definitely caught us for a loop. I didn't think they're going to ban Stukov, for example, but they put a heavy emphasis on it.
Yeah, we saw Stukov banned pretty much every game there. It's yeah, pretty. Stukov's a great playmaking support. It's tough to go wrong with a Stukov, but yeah, a lot of Uther presence for sure.
Yeah, joke's on them. We were never going to pick Stukov.
I will say, like, in terms of sports, Crush and I were talking throughout that Uther seemed to be a big priority pick because it could put the draft in some crazy positions. Like when you guys drafted Uther first pick, it just threw everybody for a loop because you don't know if that's triple bruiser, double support. You don't know if it's quadruple frontline like you guys had in game 2. And so, with the healer pick, Stukov being taken out as one of your popular heroes and Uther being in, did that have to change a lot of your playstyle during this playoff game?
Go ahead and take that one, Iron.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know I was an Uther main until the start of playoffs. I'll be honest. But it's something we definitely practiced, and we were really kind of enjoying the fact that we first picked the Uther, then they got to think about, oh god, Garrosh with Uther armor. And so it's just another way to kind of turn the screws on the draft, I think.
Yeah, I felt like everything was kind of getting choked out support-wise in our favor. So I really like... I feel like Uther had a really high priority in the series. They also have a very good win rate on it. I think both teams wanted it, and when we were first picked, we took it.
Yeah, I think Uther was undefeated in this series, no matter who played him. So just really, really cool to see for sure. Speaking of the Garrosh Uther, talk to me a little bit about the later stages of game number 4 there on Alterac Pass. We were noting that once level 16 came online, there were a lot of percentage damage and armor ignoring talents that were starting to come online for Baby on board. So was there a change in strategy, a change in approach, the way that you were going into those late game team fights, or was it more just try to keep doing what's been working?
GP, do you want to take this one? If he's here.
think about giving it forward.
Did
That
you
was so
listen
far
to
away.
the question?
I was listening to the question.
You should really
Oh,
listen when
no.
people ask you questions there, DP.
I think that we had I think that kind of our game plan kind of stayed the same because we were kind of keeping momentum from the earlier stages of the mid game. So while it wasn't too much of a issue to deal with exactly on 16, I think we just kept our rotations up and stayed on top of that, and that's what helped out the most.
Yeah, I mean the rotations were really nice there. The into the fray Uther engage. It's not one that I see quite a lot, but it was an interesting adaptation to the the lacking engage that Garros generally has, which was is that felt a little, was that more practiced or more off the cuff?
That was I think I'm not exactly who it was. I think it was Beef Boys played Garrosh and Uther against us, and they actually wombo comboed us with that exact thing with Into the Fray and Divine Storm. So that image is like burned into my head. So whenever we have like Garrosh Uther, I always look at that.
I mean, your tank play was, as your fellow tank player, was pretty awesome to see. Like, especially going into 4 different types of percent damage. I do want to ask, like, overall with this game, like, what was the strategies, what weaknesses of BOB were you trying to take advantage of, and what of their strengths were you trying to kind of avoid?
Yeah, so in terms of what we were trying to take advantage of, we felt from our drafting that their bruiser pool was a little bit shallow and didn't have very good win percentages. So we were looking just to kind of overwhelm them with like power picks in the off lane and kind of choking them into certain kind of drafts that we would be accustomed to playing against. So we kind of knew the style of draft that they would pick every game. I was expecting more double support from them. But yeah, like overall, just kind of abusing the limited range pool and the limited bruiser pool for sure.
Makes sense for sure. Yeah, I mean, just going through the last game there on Towers of Doom, it felt like you had a pretty good handle on things from start to finish. Yeah, I mean, what does it take to hang on to a lead on Towers of Doom, a map that's so famous for its comebacks?
Yeah, Hydra, you can take that one, dude. Let's go. Were you listening to the question?
Oh, I was pulling up my stats, pulling up a clip so that I could flame Mockery. Sorry.
He's ready.
Oh no.
I was just mentioning like Towers of Doom, big map for comebacks. What are you thinking for, how do you keep a lead on towers in a situation like that? What's the focus there?
Right. So, I mean, on towers, basically, our game plan. Well, first of all, just going into towers, we were either going to choose Infernal or towers, and we knew that as far as their bruiser pool goes, it was much better on shrines than it was on towers. So that was something that helped us, I think, honestly, the most. You saw a lot of team fights where Josh was able to rotate, but Hogger was not able to because Hogger is not as great on the double soak on that map. And then once we got control of bottom lane, it was, you saw how it happened. Zeratul kept rotating and harassing the Hogger, so we win that. And then our 3-man was able to kind of bunker up, and Anub just eats all of the Li Ming skill shots, so they were pretty much unable to get anything back in the game, which forced them into the position where they had to kind of just take a really aggressive fight or lose.
I want to ask another general question. So on the game 5, I wasn't sure why I was still waiting for it, but with previous games that you had, I mean, you have, of course, Lazy Hydras right here as another member on your team. I remember Concept playing, I'll be the Deathwing in the legendary triple stealth composition against Sky 5. Are you guys planning on just sticking with a 5-person, or is it that Lazy Hydra and Concept comes in when you guys want to run like different wacko comps, or what is the grand finals going to look like in terms of your roster?
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we always had a pretty large roster, and we try to rotate people into games throughout the season, but then during playoffs, we try to keep it pretty stable. but yeah, so it's gonna be us, the 5 that you saw play tonight. Most likely for the grand finals. But the thing is, since we do get our sub players do play a lot, like Hydra is very active in our team, so is Concept. Like we're very, very comfortable putting them in. So actually, I think GP might not even, the Grand Paladin might not even be here for the grand finals. I think Hydra might be actually be subbing in for that. So yeah, we just always like try to get people to get in games throughout the season. During scrims, we usually try to divvy it up like 50-50 between all the players. So yeah, that's just how we do things.
Yeah,
I
this
like
was
that.
this was GP's Grand Paladin's grand final. So we're all clapping for him. He won his grand final. He's going away on a nice vacation now. Imagine that.
Yeah, I'll be supporting you guys from the sidelines on the grand finals.
Oh heck yeah! Hopefully on a. Are you going to like a beach somewhere? I'd never even asked. But
Yeah, Florida.
okay, I'm angry at you now.
Man.
Yes. Get out of the chat. But we're actually like bringing in Concept or Hydra at any point. We're actually feeling super comfortable with it. Like Josh said, they played with us all season. They're privy to all the same strategies. We have different strategies worked out with them in. So the games will definitely look different and be very interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's something that's Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna be really cool to watch. Any final questions there, X, before we close out?
No, I just want to say, I mean, I always enjoyed playing against you guys, and you guys are fun to cast and watch. And of course, I feel like one of the most fun divisions in all of NGS. If I can pat all of our backs here, but really good job. Like the drafting was fun, the team fights were fun, and I just like that you guys have a big roster that you change out. It's hard to scout against, but also I feel like the community you guys create because of the multiple roster options just makes it overall like a nice and awesome team to follow. So good job today, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations on the victory. Look forward to seeing you in the finals. Any last shout outs before we close out here?
We're coming for you, Himbo.
Well, I don't know how much time we can take up of yours, but I'll start with the shout outs. First off, I do want to shout out my team. Everyone here, as well as Concept and Synchrony, like easily the best team I've ever been a part of. I'm super proud of everyone. I love the way that we play. I really enjoy just hanging out with everyone and coming up with new strategies. Shout out to, and I never do this, shout out to my fiance. She's just finishing up her thesis. She's, wildly intelligent, the rock of my life, and she's so supportive. So she was cheering me on for these grand finals. She doesn't watch the games though. Can you imagine that? She just cheers me on. And shout out to you guys for casting, of course. I haven't watched the cast. I'm not a dirty stream sniper, but I will enjoy going back and watching this crazy series. It was really intense to play in, and shout out to Baby on Board for honestly just a great series. And we had a lot of fun on our side. It was ups and downs. It wasn't an easy series by any stretch of the imagination. So extremely well played.
Fantastic.
Same, dude.
Yeah. I'll be quick.
All right.
Shout out to Mockery, my good pal. Week 2 of the season, he said he was very excited to 2-0 my team. So I'm glad that went well for him.
Oh no.
Alrighty.
We don't trash talk here. We don't trash talk. It's just Hydra. He's
That's why I'm benched, dude.
It's okay. They're good friends. Or whatever.
Benched
It's
and
fine.
reported. Benched and reported.
9x report. Yeah, it's.
Well, congratulations once again. Good luck in the grand finals, and yeah, thanks for coming on by. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Thank you.
X, I'll call you back in a sec.
Sounds good.